You think you can escape? You will pay for your insolence!
I told you. You become... I would show no mercy! Die!
Did you really think it would be that easy?
They were all top-tier existences at the 9th level of the Golden Core realm. It would be a wonder if such mere tricks of concealing footprints could deceive them. Therefore, I did the opposite, letting them mistakenly believe they had discovered me. If all goes as expected, they should have entered the canyon by now to investigate. Even if they are fortunate enough to awaken to the truth, it matters not. Fang Chen smiled as he produced Wu Manu's small pouch. Although he had already distributed most of the contents, plenty still remained. He took out a spatial scroll and said with an enigmatic smile, "As for where I shall be teleported, even I do not know. Even if they were to pursue me to this very spot, how could they possibly divine my trajectory? The greatest utility of a spatial scroll lies in fleeing, capable of traversing 100 miles in a single blink. Mighty as Concubine Yunxia and Demon King Chunny may be, they could never sense Fang Chen 100 miles away. The only drawback is that the destination of the spatial scroll's transmission is not fixed." Fang Chen frowned and said, "Any direction will suffice, so long as it is not toward the northern hinterlands of the demonic beasts." The Black Mirror evil spirit clicked its tongue. "To possess such a treasure, your karmic luck is profound indeed. Use it quickly. Unless you are cursed with terrible fortune, you should not be sent to the north." Fang Chen nodded and decisively unfurled the scroll. Poof, a surge of spatial energy erupted, shrouding Fang Chen before, with a sudden whoosh, it enveloped him and vanished into a sphere of white light. An incense stick's worth of time later, the earth rumbled as Concubine Yunxia and Demon King Chunny hurried over. Concubine Yunxia immediately noticed a gap blasted into the abdomen of the demonic beast, with blood-stained footprints leading from within toward the open snow. He was actually hiding inside the corpse of the demonic beast, Concubine Yunxia said indignantly. Furthermore, this beast has clearly been dead for quite some time. The blood is no longer fresh. I was completely fixated on the footprints he created and failed to notice this. Realizing she had been thoroughly toyed with, Concubine Yunxia clenched her delicate fists. She immediately invoked her ocular arts to seek out Fang Chen's trail once more. Yet, all around her was an expanse of white. Not a trace remained, nor even a wisp of his aura. There was nowhere left to search. Detestable, Concubine Yunxia struck the trunk of a tree, causing the ancient wood to tremble violently. Demon King Chunny shrunk her neck. In all these years, this was the first time she had seen Concubine Yunxia in such a rage. "Shall we continue the pursuit?" she asked cautiously. Concubine Yunxia snapped. "The trail is gone. Where would we go to find him?" This scoundrel most likely used that spatial artifact called Wu Manu to vanish without a trace. If Fang Chen had used it earlier, it would have been fine. At that time, they were not far apart, and she could have used her tracking arts to pinpoint the direction of the spatial fluctuations. But Fang Chen must have realized this, holding back until he had lured them far away before activating it. Now, the remnants of the spatial fluctuations had long since vanished, making it impossible for her to determine his direction. Demon King Chunny asked meekly, "So we just leave it at that? If not, what else can I do?" Concubine Yunxia was filled with intense unwillingness, feeling a suffocating pressure in her chest that she could neither release nor swallow, leaving her profoundly vexed. She could dwell on it no longer. She had to find something else to divert her focus, for she knew that if this persisted, it would give rise to a heart demon, hindering her cultivation. She would head to the southwestern camp, find the battle king with the innate talent, and have these chains removed. Concubine Yunxia looked at the chains on her body that could not be ripped away, and silently persuaded herself to let this loss go. Demon King Chunny nodded and immediately steered the great tree as they sped toward the southwestern military camp. Previously, demonic beast armies had gathered in both the south and the southwest. The southwest was guarded by the heaven-devouring tiger and the demon emperor's daughter, Leoli. It was said that Leoli suffered a crushing defeat and was forced to retreat to the northern demonic beast hinterlands. The southwestern army then shifted to the southern battlefront, establishing camp to await orders. Currently, this army is commanded by a demon general with over 500 Golden Core Realm Beast Kings under its banner, a formidable force indeed. The terrain in the southwest is complex, filled with ice caverns of all sizes that connect to one another like an underground beehive. A battle, King Beast, whose strength reached the 6th level of the Golden Core Realm, was training 20 or 30 ape-type demonic beasts. This defeat by Priestia is a lesson we must learn from, especially regarding the icy terrain on the slopes of Boundary Mountain, which caused unexpected trouble for the advance of our undead army. Therefore, for the coming decisive battle, the first thing we must resolve is the icy slope surface. General Ghost, Face has proposed a tactical plan. Those with superior arm strength shall hurl a multitude of hardened ice spears into the slopes. In this way, as our army climbs, they can use these as footholds to advance, while also minimizing the damage caused by the enemy's use of rolling logs and the like. Now, I shall provide a demonstration. This battle, King was a robust lizard, its body knotted with muscles. It shouldered a tenjiang, long, carved ice spear, pointing it toward a hillside hundreds of zhang away. Assume that is Boundary Mountain. We must drive the ice spears into it like this. With a thunderous roar, it unleashed immense physical power, and the ice spear, which stood taller than the creature itself, hurtled toward the slope. Because of its extreme velocity, it compressed the air, emitting a piercing sound as it cut through the wind. The ape-type demonic beasts looked on with awe. Such arm strength was rare even among the southwestern army, aside from General Ghost. Face, almost no one would dare claim they could achieve such force. Their gazes followed the movement of the ice spike, and just as it was about to pierce the slope, a flash of white light erupted from that spot. A black-robed youth, with skin as white as frigid jade and an otherworldly handsomeness, materialized out of thin air. The newcomer was none other than Fang Chen. He had been teleported by the spatial scroll and was still slightly disoriented when he felt a violent gust of wind. Upon closer inspection, it was a colossal ice spike. Without a second thought, he unleashed a punch imbued with the hegemon tiger body technique. As the roar of a tiger reverberated within him, a domineering and unparalleled force erupted from his fist. Boom, the ice spike was shattered by the punch, transforming into a vast expanse of fragmented ice that exploded outwards. This scene left the ape beast kings in stunned silence. How had a person suddenly appeared and even managed to withstand the lizard battle king's attack? Fang Chen was equally stunned. Beast kings, a whole host of beast kings, the demonic aura beneath his feet soared into the heavens. Who knew how many more beast kings lurked within the ice cavern? The suffocating demonic aura was in no way inferior to the thousands, strong demonic beast army led by the Black Spider back then. He had stumbled into a beast king encampment. A chilling sensation shot straight to the crown of Fang Chen's head. This wasn't a spatial teleportation. It was a damn hellish transmigration. Fang Chen felt an urge to curse. With a radius of 100 *, why did it have to teleport him into a demonic beast encampment of all places? The probability was akin to a needle falling into 10,000 ants, and Fang Chen just happened to be the one that got pricked. To call him unlucky was an understatement. The Black Mirror evil spirit gaped in astonishment, exclaiming, "No way, kid. Are you the personal son of the god of misfortune? How could something like this even happen?" Fang Chen's heart sank. He would rather be hunted down by consort Yunxia. At least he would have a sliver of a chance to escape. However, Fang Chen was not one to resign himself to fate. He would not give up until the very last moment. His mind raced, and finally, just before the lizard battle king could discern something amiss, a spark of inspiration ignited in his mind. He immediately concealed his face with his sleeves and swiftly retrieved the demonic core of the illusionary manor he had seized, placing it in his mouth. A surge of intense demonic aura erupted from within him. The lizard battle king paused, a hint of doubt flickering in his eyes. He sensed a fleeting trace of human aura on Fang Chen and immediately roared, "Prepare for battle." 2 or 3 dozen ape beast kings immediately hoisted ice spikes, preparing to hurl them. At the same time, a continuous stream of beast kings poured out of the ice cavern, quickly numbering over 200, with more emerging ceaselessly. Fang Chen secretly sucked in a breath of cold air. They were all at the beast lord level. With such a massive demonic beast army, the one in command must be no ordinary beast king, but most likely a demon king. His heart grew heavy. He commanded, "Activate the mirror of heart illumination to capture the inner thoughts of those around me. I must understand the information about this encampment as much as possible." The evil spirit replied, "Use it yourself, it'll be more direct." Fang Chen anxiously replied, "I can't use this mirror, I haven't learned how yet." The evil spirit nodded thoughtfully and then actively began operating the black mirror, probing the thoughts of the surrounding beast kings. Soon it gathered some key information and relayed it to Fang Chen. This place was the southwestern military encampment of the demon race. The previous commander was the demon emperor's daughter, Liulai. Now it is under the command of one of the demon kings, Juiying. He excels in shadow manipulation techniques and is cunning and vigilant. It will be difficult to deceive him with your demon race identity. Prepare for a desperate struggle. The evil spirit sighed inwardly. From his perspective, Fang Chen's predicament was far from trivial. The only thing that could save him was that nascent soul, Jade Amulet. If he could kill the Demon King here with it, then all would be well. The Beast King army would be leaderless, and the demonic beasts would not have time to hunt down Fang Chen. But if he couldn't kill him, then he was in deep trouble. There were no less than 10 demonic beasts in this place, similar to the Lizard Battle King before him. Without the nascent soul Jade Amulet, it would be almost impossible for Fang Chen to evade their pursuit. After understanding the information, Fang Chen remained calm and collected, placing his hands behind his back, assuming an air of authority, and indifferently said, "Where is Juiying? Why haven't you quickly come out to meet this envoy?" What made Fang Chen's hair stand on end was that his shadow projected onto the ground in front of him began to writhe strangely. A humanoid shadow, as black as ink except for its blood, red eyes, emerged from within. He resembled a melting wax figure, his dark skin hanging loosely, his drooping scalp covering half of his eyes, his long nose drooping down to his mouth, his chin and ears doing the same. The skin on his body was layered upon layer, like dense waves, giving one a severe sense of physiological discomfort. And the aura he emitted was terrifying beyond compare. Golden Core, 9th layer. Fang Chen felt a sense of foreboding. This Demon King's talent seemed to be the ability to lurk unnoticed within the shadows of living beings. With such an eerie technique, if it were used to escape, the nascent soul Jade Amulet might not be able to kill him after all. "Who are you?" Juiying revealed half of his red eyeballs, rotating them as he sized Fang Chen up and down, a deep suspicion in his eyes. Because, within the demon race, he had never seen Fang Chen before. Sensing the other's suspicion, Fang Chen wasted no words. As if long prepared, he retrieved the white bone butterfly hairpin from within his sleeve. "By the High Priestess's decree, I am to gather the skeletal remains left behind by the undead army. Your full cooperation is required." Upon seeing the white bone butterfly hairpin, a flicker of astonishment crossed Juiying's crimson eyes. He clearly recognized it as the sacred artifact used by the priestly lineage of the demonic clan to command their corpse puppets. This artifact was held exclusively by the priestly lineage. All others were forbidden from even touching it. Could the man before him truly be an agent of the priestess? Yet the current generation of the priestly lineage consisted only of Lingyan and Yu. He had never heard mention of a third. His gaze flickered as he spoke. "This subordinate, Juiying, welcomes the priestess's emissary. May I ask who the emissary is among the priestly lineage? Why has this king never laid eyes upon you before?" Fang Chen's heart hammered in his chest. As he feared, this deception would not be easy. His knowledge of the demonic clan was far too sparse, and his facade could crumble at any moment. Fortunately, he held an ace up his sleeve. He narrowed his eyes and declared, "It is better for you not to know, for I fear the High Priestess herself would claim your life." Juiying's suspicion of Fang Chen only deepened. The priestly lineage had always maintained its independence from the greater demonic clan, rarely intervening in its affairs. Even when displeased with one of their own, they would only ever communicate with the demon emperor, leaving the resolution in his hands. To so brazenly claim the High Priestess would take the life of a demon was to reveal a profound ignorance of the internal customs of the demonic clan. His aura began to seethe, a frigid light swirling in his eyes. "This one is now quite curious," he said, his tone deceptively mild. "What identity could be so profound that this king is forbidden from knowing it? An identity that would invite a death sentence from the High Priestess herself." Fang Chen replied with chilling indifference, "If you so eagerly seek death, then I shall grant your wish." He touched a finger to the center of his brow, summoning a faint spiritual glow. Through this ethereal light, a trace of a soul aura, long concealed in the deepest recesses of his being, began to emanate. At first, Juiying sensed nothing amiss, but an instant later, a unique aura, mingled with the unmistakable presence of a heart, linking divine insect, drifted forth. As a demon king, how could he not recognize the heart, linking divine insect, and how could he be ignorant of its profound implications? This human, like demon standing before him, he was the man of the current young priestess, Yeyu. He subconsciously cried out, the heart, Link. Fortunately, his wits returned to him, and he clamped his mouth shut in time. The matter of the priestly lineage's succession was a paramount taboo, a secret never to be spoken of by outsiders. If word were to spread from his lips, the high priestess would indeed bypass the demon emperor and execute him without hesitation. The emissary had spoken the truth. His identity was truly something he had no right to know. "Why have you fallen silent?" Fang Chen demanded, his voice laced with ice. From what Jian Linyuan and the others had described, the priestly lineage's search for a consort was their highest priority. Revealing this identity, therefore, should prove exceedingly effective. Zhuing drew a sharp, cold breath, no longer daring to harbor any doubt about Fang Chen's identity. He hurriedly clasped his fists, his entire demeanor now reverent. "Zhuing has been remiss in his welcome and has offended the emissary, the aura from before. This subordinate must have been mistaken. I shall not speak of it to a soul. I bid the emissary rest assured." He secretly broke out in a cold sweat, realizing his probing questions had nearly brought disaster upon his own head. Should this man's identity ever be exposed in the future, the High Priestess would undoubtedly suspect him. The consequences of that, HMPH. "You refuse the High Priestess's command for assistance and dare to question my identity. Zhuing, your audacity is truly boundless. You may now await the High Priestess's summons." With that, he turned and made to depart. His bluff, borrowing the might of a tiger, had temporarily cowed them. There was no better time to leave than now. How could Zhuing dare let Fang Chen depart in anger? "Emissary, I implore you to stay," he cried out repeatedly. "Please, stay." Zhuing forced a strained smile. This subordinate has a humble gift he wishes to present to the Lord Emissary. Fang Chen's only thought was to leave, and he refused without a moment's hesitation. "Keep it for yourself." Zhuing gritted his teeth. "Then I shall conceal it no longer. The reason this site was chosen for our encampment is that I inadvertently discovered the ruins of a human stronghold from 5 centuries past, hidden deep beneath this ice cavern. Though it has been plundered before, some treasures were left behind." He produced a 5-colored stone no larger than a thumb and held it aloft in his palm with considerable effort. "It is this," he declared. "I know not what miraculous properties it holds, but it is immensely heavy. Even a piece this small is a great strain for me to hold. It must surely be no mortal treasure." Fang Chen needed but a single glance for his pupils to constrict. This was no mere stone. It was unmistakably a piece of the 5-element magnetic mountain. Though it was but a minuscule fragment, he was certain it was identical to the 5-element magnetic mountain he knew. His heart thundered in his chest as he finally realized where he was, the final resting place of the 5 elements' divine sovereign. This very place had once been excavated by the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets, where they had unearthed the mysterious, fragmented scroll of the 5 elements' divine art. From that very scroll, Fang Chen himself had glimpsed a peerless technique, a work of profound creation known as the 5 ethereal flow strengths. He never could have imagined that through a stroke of serendipity, he would be transported to the very place where the 5 elements' divine sovereign had met his end. But wait, a sudden realization struck Fang Chen. His arrival here was no coincidence at all. The world was vast, spanning hundreds of li in every direction. What were the odds of being transported directly into the heart of a demonic clan encampment? He had been brought here for one reason. This place held an attraction for the 5-element magnetic mountain, and that attraction had warped the spatial teleportation, pulling him to this very spot. With these thoughts, a sudden realization struck him like a bolt of lightning. In this world, coincidences are but illusions. There are only the hidden threads of karma and causality weaving through the shadows. Gazing upon the stone before him, Fang Chen asked, "Is this small fragment all there is?" Seeing Fang Chen's interest, Zhuing breathed a sigh of relief and said, "There are plenty more within the Immortal's Cave. If the envoy is interested, you may take them all." Internally, he mused, "They are useless to me anyway." The stone shimmered with a kaleidoscope of colors and possessed immense weight, appearing quite extraordinary, yet no matter how he studied it, its purpose remained elusive. He had even captured several human warriors and forced them to infuse the stones with spiritual energy, yet it was all in vain. A thought stirred within Fang Chen's heart as he spoke, "Lead me to the cave dwelling first." Since the Voidflow Thunder Force was drawn to this place, there had to be a profound reason. It could not be as simple as a single, solitary stone. Zhuing replied readily, "Envoy, please follow me." Under his guidance, Fang Chen entered the frozen cavern, traversing a labyrinthine network of icy tunnels. Finally, deep within the frozen depths, a secret chamber constructed from 5 colored stones appeared before them. These stones were identical to the 5 magnetic essence mountain. Yet, for some unknown reason, they had not condensed as tightly as the 5 magnetic essence mountain. The 5 magnetic essence mountain within his robes began to tremble slightly as they approached the secret chamber. As expected, it was being drawn by these ancient ruins. The stone door of the secret chamber had long since been shattered into fragments of various sizes, scattered across the floor. The interior was completely hollow, containing nothing but piles of stone. Fearing that Fang Chen might suspect him of hoarding the treasures, Deceiving explained, "This secret chamber was breached many years ago and was thoroughly plundered. Save for these heavy stones, not a single scrap was left behind." He had scoured every corner and crevice of the chamber, inside and out. Truly, nothing remained but a heap of worthless rocks. He had ceased concerning himself with the chamber over half a month ago. Had it not been for his desire to curry favor with Fang Chen today, he would not have bothered to visit this place at all. "Lord Envoy, if these stones pique your interest, I shall immediately order my subordinates to transport them all back to the demon race territory." Apprehension flickered in Deceiving's eyes. With the chamber so desolate, the envoy would surely be overcome with disappointment. Suppressing his rising excitement, Fang Chen said, "There is no haste. First, let me investigate this chamber. If it is convenient, could I be left here alone for a time?" Deceiving chuckled inwardly. This fellow truly refused to give up hope. Including his own search, this secret chamber had been ransacked twice. How could anything of value possibly remain? It was for the best that Fang Chen was interested. The favor had been bestowed, and their accounts were now settled. "Certainly, please take your time, envoy. I shall take my leave and not disturb your solitude." Leading the host of the demon race, he departed, leaving Fang Chen alone, who began to stroke the walls of the secret chamber as if they were the most precious treasures in existence. Good heavens, so many fragments of the 5 magnetic essence mountain. In terms of sheer volume, they are no less than an entirely new 5 magnetic essence mountain. If I can fuse these stones into my 5 magnetic essence mountain, its divine power will surely double. Fang Chen murmured with fervent excitement. Presently, the suppressive force of the 5 magnetic essence mountain was somewhat insufficient against the 9th level of the golden core realm. Previously, Yao Yu had managed to withstand it. Weight through sheer force. One, at the peak of the 9th level of the golden core realm, like Fang Teiji, could even blast it away with a single punch. Its suppressive might was in dire need of ascension. Nonetheless, driven by a lingering sense of hope, he entered the secret chamber to conduct a thorough search, seeking any overlooked remnants. However, after a meticulous inspection, Fang Chen sighed deeply. "It seems I was overthinking things. They are neither blind nor fools. Any method of inspection I could conceive, they surely would have performed as well." He had examined every single stone with utmost care, infusing them with spiritual energy, subjecting them to flame and water, and even testing their resonance. Yet he found not a single useful upon them. It appeared to be nothing more than an ordinary stone chamber. This should not be so. Fang Chen's brow furrowed. If the 5 elements divine monarch truly sought to pass into the void, any mundane stone cavern would have sufficed. Why would he go through such immense trouble to construct a secret chamber, specifically from 5 magnetic essence mountain stones, just to meet his end within? He sensed a faint discrepancy, yet the underlying reason eluded his grasp. It was the Black Mirror evil spirit whose words acted as a clarion call. "I suspect this secret chamber is inextricably linked to his inheritance." The 5 elements divine monarch was always meticulous. Every action and word held profound significance. This chamber, as you noted, was not built without cause. He surely intended to leave something behind for his successor. Yet he was unwilling for it to fall into the hands of the unworthy. Alas, its legacy had long since been severed from the world. The evil spirit watched in astonishment as Fang Chen's eyes lit up. Pressing a hand against the stone wall, an extraordinary power surged from within his body. This was no ordinary physical might, but a profound and ethereal force. Carrying the faint essence of thunder, it was none other than the void, flow lightning force. As the void, flow lightning force struck the stone wall, a scene appeared that filled Fang Chen with joy. The lightning force entered the stone, instantly adhering to its surface and erupting in flickering bolts of thunder light. 1, 2, 3, countless bolts. When all the flickering lightning arcs intertwined, they formed a script, the 5 magnetic divine light. The evil spirit cried out in shock and excitement. "Boy, this is one of the 2 supreme techniques of the 5 elements monarch. The first is the void, flow 5 forces, and the second is this 5 magnetic divine light. He built this secret chamber with hidden intentions indeed, leaving behind a cultivation method for his successor. Wait, the evil spirit reacted with suspicion and alarm. Were you just using the void, flow 5 forces? No matter how one looked at them, those lightning arcs did not resemble ordinary thunder. On the contrary, they seemed to be Fang Chen's very own power. Knowing he could no longer hide it, Fang Chen replied, "Yes, I mastered it not long ago." The evil spirit gasped. Where did you get it?" Fang Chen explained the origin of the 5 elements divine art. After hearing it, the evil spirit's heart nearly shattered from the shock. "You mean to say you obtained the 5 elements divine art for a mere pittance of contribution points?" Fang Chen spoke with dissatisfaction. "Choose your words carefully. Was that a pittance? It was a full 10,000 contribution points. 10,000 points I exchanged my life for." Before he could finish, he was sprayed in the face by the evil spirit's spittle. "Contribution points are worth nothing. Do you know how many outer realm divine sects and great heavensward orthodoxies are searching for the 5 elements divine art? Of those I know, there are no fewer than 5, each a colossus guarded by a soul formation realm expert. One of those great sects even has the shadow of a sage behind it." Hiss. Fang Chen was startled. He could understand the soul formation realm, the void, flow 5 forces, created by the 5 elements monarch, were indeed miraculous and unpredictable. It was natural for other soul formation experts to covet them. He never expected even a sage would hunger for it. Only then did he realize that the void, flow 5 forces, was far more valuable than he had imagined. A mere 10,000 contribution points was an absolute steal. The evil spirit huffed with envy, his nostrils flaring. "The divine art they seek in vain was obtained by you, you lucky bastard, for just 10,000 points. Not only that, you used the 5 magnetic metamountain to comprehend the void flow 5 forces. No, and now you use that lightning force to find the hidden 5 magnetic divine light. You truly deserve to be struck down by heaven." Twisted with jealousy, he began to curse wildly, especially when he thought of how he had lost his life for a mere low-grade magical artifact like the heart-reflecting ancient mirror, compared to Fang Chen obtaining all the opportunities of the 5 elements monarch for a single demonic beast claw. The sensation was more painful than death. Fang Chen rolled his eyes and said, "Opportunity is reserved for those who are prepared. If I hadn't risked my life to sever the skied, devouring tiger's claw, could I have traded it to Aoyong Jun for the 5 magnetic meta-mountain? Every cause has its effect. Your envy is futile." Still fuming, the evil spirit barked, "Enough nonsense. Hurry and find that nascent soul corpse for me, so that I may borrow the corpse to return to life. I must leave you as soon as possible, or I will eventually be driven to death by pure rage." Fang Chen chuckled, as if anyone wants to be entangled with an evil spirit. "Once I return to the Boundary Mountain and recover, I will find an opportunity to go to the place you mentioned." The evil spirit paused, then snorted, "It had better be so." Fang Chen ignored him and focused on studying the 5 magnetic divine light, an Earth-grade high-rank cultivation method with only one level titled 5 magnetic divine light. Its strength is determined by the power of the 5 elements contained within the 5 magnetic meta-mountain. Once mastered, the 5 magnetic divine light can be unleashed through the mountain, within the range of the divine light. All forces shall be forbidden. Fang Chen frowned slightly. What do these words mean? With doubt, he carefully meditated on the full text. The content was not difficult, given his comprehension. It took only the time of a single cup of tea to grasp the essence of the cultivation mnemonic. He immediately began cultivating on the spot before long. With a thought, he formed a hand seal and struck it into the 5 magnetic meta-mountain. A resonant hum vibrated. The palm-sized 5 magnetic meta-mountain suddenly erupted with a layer of 5 colored light. Centered on the small mountain, the iridescent glow radiated outward, covering a radius of 30 feet like an umbrella. This was the 5 magnetic divine light. Bathed in the divine light, Fang Chen's eyes still held a hint of confusion. What is meant by "all forces shall be forbidden"? Suddenly, his entire body went weak. He swayed unsteadily, unable to stand firm, as if he were just recovering from a grave illness. What is happening? Fang Chen was shocked. He tried to circulate his spiritual power, only to discover with horror that it was frozen within his golden core, impossible to mobilize. What shocked him even more was that his soul power was also sealed, unable to extend beyond the 30-foot range. His physical strength, spiritual power, and even soul power were all forbidden. Greatly alarmed, Fang Chen hastily circulated the void, flow lightning force. Instantly, bolts of lightning surged forth smoothly without any hindrance. Only then did he understand the meaning of "all forces forbidden, yet the void flow prevails." His eyes flashed with brilliance. He could hardly imagine the advantage he would gain if, during close combat, he suddenly unleashed the 5 magnetic divine light, leaving the enemy powerless while he alone could wield the void. Lightning force with a look of joy. He skillfully manifested the 5 magnetic divine light again and again, discovering many of its subtle uses during the process. Lord Emissary, the demonic Beast King, has sent me to ask if you require any assistance. Seeing that Fang Chen had not emerged for a long time, the shadowless demonic Beast King sent someone to inquire. Fang Chen quickly withdrew the 5 magnetic divine light and said, "I am coming." He watched the demonic beast depart, then turned back to the secret chamber of 5 colored stones. These stones share the same origin as the 5 magnetic meta-mountain. Can they be refined into it? Pondering this, he took out a small piece of the 5 colored stone and placed it upon the 5 magnetic meta-mountain. To his surprise, the two repelled each other, and the small stone was sent flying. I was overthinking it. Fang Chen was caught between laughter and tears. The 5 magnetic meta-mountain is, after all, a finished magical artifact. The 5 colored stones before me are merely raw materials. How could it be so easy to merge materials into a completed artifact? There must be specific conditions required for them to fuse. After a moment's thought, Fang Chen decided to collect all the stones first. He immediately activated the Heavenly Thunderstone, sweeping the entire 5 colored secret chamber into it. He did not even spare the small colored stones or the multi-colored sand scattered upon the ground, sweeping them all away until not a single trace remained. Only then did he take his leave from the ice cavern. Upon emerging from the exit, the sounds of pleading for mercy echoed from within the military camp. Looking up, he saw a demonic beast, battered and bruised, bound to an ice pillar and being lashed with a leather whip. Her upper torso was human and of exquisite beauty, while her lower half was a fishtail adorned with shimmering, multicolored scales. As the whip struck the tail, it sent a spray of bloodied scales flying, leaving the mermaid in unbearable agony. The shadowless Demon King stood nearby with an indifferent air, watching the mermaid's torment. His voice was gravelly. "To dare release the humans captured during these days without permission, your audacity is great. Do you believe that because your clan has birthed a sea charm, Demon King, you may act with such lawlessness as to collude with the human race?" It turned out that this mermaid of the demon race was a clanswoman of the sea charm, Demon King. Recently, many disciples from the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion and even the 9 sects had been out on missions. Those unfortunate enough to cross paths with their patrols were captured and brought back. Given the enmity between the two races, there was no reason for these humans to be spared. This naturally benevolent mermaid could not bear to see them meet a wretched end, and had secretly let them escape. However, the matter was exposed and traced back to her. This matter has naught to do with the clan leader. Do not implicate her. Despite her suffering, the mermaid took full responsibility upon herself. It was with great ancestral fortune that the mermaid clan finally produced a demon king. With her, they would no longer be oppressed. How could they allow her to be dragged into this? The shadowless Demon King said calmly, "Good, very good. I admire a compatriot with such iron resolve. Since that is the case, we shall cease the whipping." The War King, overseeing the punishment, immediately stopped, and the mermaid thought her life had been spared. Yet a cruel glint appeared in the shadowless Demon King's eyes. "Change the sentence to the death of 1,000 cuts. Flay her. If there are fewer than 3,000 slices, I shall flay you instead." The executioner's visage trembled. Though demonic beasts were resilient to pain, the death of 1,000 cuts was a fate worse than death itself. Hearing this, the mermaid shuddered in sheer terror, pleading, "Shadowless Demon King, I was wrong. Please, just kill me." The shadowless Demon King spoke coldly. "Since you harbor such pity for humans, you shall suffer in their stead. Execute the sentence." The executing War King coldly raised a sharp stone blade and lunged it toward the mermaid. "Stop!" Fang Chen shouted in a booming voice. Knowing she was a clanswoman of sea charm and was suffering for saving humans, Fang Chen could not simply watch with a clear conscience. He had to intervene. For safety, he invoked the 5 magnetic divine light to form a thin, iridescent film of light that covered his entire body. Recognizing the voice, the shadowless Demon King looked at Fang Chen with a face full of astonishment. "Envoy, are you unharmed?" Fang Chen waved his hand and stepped forward, casually undoing the mermaid's bonds and draping a cloak over her. He turned and said, "Could you grant me face and spare her? We are of the same race. Why must we turn on each other?" The shadowless Demon King frowned. This was a military camp where rules were paramount. The mermaid had broken his laws by releasing the humans. If he did not punish her severely, would his authority not be rendered meaningless? Furthermore, he had already repaid the envoy and owed him no further debts. Thus, he declined, "Forgive me, envoy, but I cannot grant this favor." Fang Chen knit his brows, pondering whether to take the mermaid by force, when a voice that made his skin crawl reached his ears. "If his face is not enough, how about mine?" Consort Yunxia had appeared at an unknown moment, standing a short distance away, calmly watching the unfolding scene. The shadowless Demon King turned to look, and his expression shifted violently. He hurried to Consort Yunxia and knelt most respectfully on one knee. "Your servant, the shadowless Demon King, greets Consort Yunxia." The woman before him was the foremost of the Demon Emperor's 36 consorts, his most favored and trusted. Her status was paramount, and she was a formidable expert at the 9th level of the Golden Core realm, the Great Circle, having even attempted to ascend to the nascent Soul realm. In terms of power, the shadowless Demon King could not even hope to match her. How could he dare be anything but subservient? "Release that mermaid." Consort Yunxia's eyes were serene, her gentle tone carrying an absolute, unquestionable authority. The shadowless Demon King hesitated, saying, "As you command." However, she released human prisoners. "If I am so lenient, what shall I do if others follow her example?" He accepted the order and dared not refuse, but he needed a justifiable reason to appease his subordinates. Consort Yunxia glanced at Fang Chen, who was enveloped in the 5 magnetic divine light, and said softly, "That demon compatriot is correct. Since we are of the same race, why resort to mutual slaughter?" Moreover, the humans she released were but ordinary, harmless individuals. They posed no threat to the grand design. In fact, when the Great War concludes and the relationship between our races must be mended, she, who saved humans, can be presented as an envoy of peace. The shadowless Demon King frowned and whispered to himself, "The end of the Great War. Is Consort Yunxia implying something?" Consort Yunxia spoke languidly. "There is no war that lasts forever. No matter how cataclysmic the battle, there will be a day when it ends. The human and demon races are equal in might. This war is destined to end with catastrophic losses on both sides. When that time comes, we must cease hostilities, reconcile, and each focus on recovering our strength in the shadows. And both sides will seek to polish their images to reduce friction. This mermaid. I believe she is quite fitting. She is beautiful and kind-hearted, and having saved the lives of humans, she can dissolve much of their race's hatred." Fang Chen nodded secretly. It had to be admitted that although Consort Yunxia was a woman, her vision was exceptionally far-reaching. Even before the final battle had commenced, she had foreseen the trajectory and conclusion of the war, even accounting for post-war diplomacy and propaganda. It was fortunate she was not deeply embroiled in this conflict. Otherwise, she would have been a most formidable adversary for the human race. The shadowless Demon King nodded and said, "Consort Yunxia's words are indeed filled with wisdom. Men, unbind her and take her back. Treat her with the finest hospitality. She shall be of great use in the future." He then asked respectfully, "Consort Yunxia, what brings your esteemed presence to the military camp so suddenly?" Consort Yunxia raised her bound hands and said, "I encountered a rather troublesome human junior. Seek one versed in the arts of unsealing to sunder these chains." The Shadow Demon King was aghast. What exalted being could subdue the Cloud Radiance consort, binding her hands, feet, and even neck with fetters? Did the other party mistreat the Cloud Radiance consort? Must I repeat myself? The Cloud Radiance consort's eyes narrowed, a natural majesty emanating forth. She knew what the Shadow Demon King pondered, and she knew the meaning behind the worried gazes of the Battle Kings present, for the Cloud Radiance consort was renowned for her celestial beauty. During her subjugation had she been defiled? It was difficult to say, yet she could not clarify, for indeed Fang Chen had explored every inch of her. Upon this thought, she could not help but seethe with frustration. She issued a second decree. "Furthermore, dispatch your forces to scour a 300-lie radius, and by all means find this person." The Shadow Demon Lord stroked his wrinkled nose, hesitatingly asking, "May I inquire, Cloud Radiance consort, who is this person you speak of? What is their name, and what do they look like? My people will have a point of reference during their search." The Cloud Radiance consort was about to describe Fang Chen's appearance, but then she reconsidered, sighing, "Forget it. So much time has passed. They've long vanished without a trace." Her gaze drifted to a form cloaked in 5-colored light, unable to discern the figure within, and she was rather astonished, asking, "Which race do you hail from?" "This 5-colored radiance is a first for me." Fang Chen's heart eased slightly. It seemed the Cloud Radiance consort could not penetrate the 5-colored divine light. He lowered his voice slightly, stating, "I come here at the behest of the old priest, offering greetings to the Cloud Radiance consort." The Cloud Radiance consort's eyes flickered with a hint of wariness. Why would the ever-youthful, immortal priest Lingyi send someone here? The lineage of the priests had always been mysterious, and the current old priest Lingyan was even more enigmatic. Each time they met, the Cloud Radiance consort felt as though she was being seen through, which made her feel exceedingly uncomfortable. At this critical juncture of the great decisive battle, why would Lingyi send someone to the military camp? However, she dared not inquire directly. As a consort of the Demon Emperor, representing the Demon Emperor, to ask too directly would inevitably suggest probing into the secrets of the priest lineage, so she could only probe indirectly. She inquired, "What are your thoughts as you have journeyed to the battlefield?" Fang Chen contemplated, then slowly spoke. "Heaven and earth are the chessboard, and all beings are the pieces. The suffering falls upon the lowly creatures. I hope the war will end soon, and that it may bring peace for all races and all generations." The Cloud Radiance consort, who had merely intended a casual question, heard an answer that stirred her heart. She murmured, "Heaven and earth are the chessboard, and all beings are the pieces. How fitting the description." "Is this also the reason you saved the mermaid?" Fang Chen nodded and replied, "Indeed. The ancient ancestors of the Myriad races used their flesh and blood to protect the peace of the Myriad races for 1,000 years. If the Myriad races were to slaughter each other, of what meaning would their sacrifices be? I do not expect the rulers of one side to have the thought of a world of great unity, where all beings are equal, but at least do not cruelly treat the weak, and give them basic space to survive." He was hinting at the Demon Emperor, hoping the Cloud Radiance consort would understand and relay it to the Demon Emperor. The Cloud Radiance consort found it quite amusing. "Oh, a world of great unity, where all beings are equal." Those words are fresh indeed, yet the strong prey on the weak is the iron law. The demon race is like this. All races are like this. This world should be thus. Fang Chen shook his head, his voice low but powerful. "Cloud Radiance consort, please cast your gaze upon the river of history. Looking across the myriad years of the human race, the dynasties have changed, and which time was not the fall of the old nobles and the rise of the new nobles. Looking closely at the dramatic changes in the demon race over 100 years, if the old demon emperor had not perished, how could the new demon emperor have been born? The world has no set law, so how can there be an iron law? We only lack a towering figure to lead us to create a world of great unity, opening a nation where all beings are equal. Or perhaps there once was, but it fell along the way." His words were light, yet they possessed the power to rouse the sleeping and move the heart. The Cloud Radiance consort fell into contemplation, asking, "What is great unity and what is equality?" For the demon race, these concepts were as foreign as could be, because from birth they had each played the roles of predator and prey, a concept that did not exist. Fang Chen stood with his hands behind his back, gazing at the heavens, reciting, "Respect the old of others as one's own, and care for the young of others as one's own." These 6 words struck the Cloud Radiance consort's heart like rain, and fell into the hearts of every demon. A picture slowly emerged of people treating each other with equality and harmony, regarding the elderly with no blood relation as their own parents, and nurturing the children of others as their own. It sounded distant, like a dream, impractical, even absurd enough to be ridiculed, yet, upon careful consideration, was that not the world they yearned for in their hearts? There was no intrigue, no mutual slaughter, no selfishness, and everyone coexisted in equality, in peace and tranquility. Every person cried upon entering the world, and laughed upon returning to the heavens. This was what beings should have been. The vast military camp fell into deep silence. They were all shocked by the world of great unity described by those mere 16 words. The Cloud Radiance consort was momentarily lost in thought. The concept of a world of great unity gave her a considerable impact, and when she looked at Fang Chen again, there was a hint of respect in her eyes. She bowed slightly and spoke. "To hear a word from you is worth more than reading 10 years' worth of books. Cloud Radiance is enlightened." Fang Chen said, "It is but the words of a single family. I still have matters to attend to. I shall not disturb the Cloud Radiance consort further. I bid you farewell." "Wait," the Cloud Radiance consort called out to Fang Chen. Fang Chen's heart skipped a beat. Could it be he let something slip? Did this woman detect a flaw? He had learned of this woman's intelligence. He forced himself to remain calm and turned around, asking, "What is it?" The Cloud Radiance consort was silent. A tail emerged from beneath her skirt, reaching out towards the Cloud Radiance consort. Her jade hand gently plucked a tuft of unique silver fox fur, a gentle look of longing in her eyes. "The world of great unity you speak of, I like it very much." Fang Chen nodded and said, "It will arrive." The Cloud Radiance consort flicked her finger. This strand of fox fur then flew before Fang Chen. This is a strand of my Silver Fox clan's innate essence. It can devour the souls of enemies. If you are in trouble, you may use it. The Cloud Radiance consort was giving him something. Fang Chen's expression became strange. If this woman knew the one standing before her was Fang Chen, she would probably turn hostile on the spot. He dared not reveal his true identity and immediately accepted it, clasping his hands in a gesture of respect. Thank you, Cloud Radiance consort. I bid you farewell. With that, he turned and departed. Having traveled a great distance, he suddenly heard the distant cries of Consort Yunxia from behind. Sir, that majestic silhouette you spoke of, when shall it appear? Fang Chen turned his head to look back, discovering that Consort Yunxia still stood in place, silently watching his departure. She truly yearned for it. A complex array of emotions surged within Fang Chen's heart. Such a world only existed within his mind. How could he possibly know when it would descend? Yet, gazing at Consort Yunxia's reluctant figure, he could not bear it. Taking a deep breath, he pointed at himself, then pointed at her from afar and shouted, "Where the heart directs, you and I are that silhouette." With those words, he departed completely, leaving Consort Yunxia standing there in stunned silence. After a long while, the shadowless Demon King finally recovered his senses and sighed with emotion. Those from the priest's lineage truly possess some profound substance. Their thoughts and visions are beyond what ordinary people like us can fathom. The great harmony of the world. He truly dares to dream. Consort Yunxia also awakened from her reverie, softly murmuring Fang Chen's final words, "Where the heart directs, you and I are that silhouette. If a day comes when I no longer need to bear the destiny of the Silver Fox lineage, what harm would there be in discarding everything to follow in his footsteps?" Amidst a sigh, a war king, his entire body covered in indestructible bone, approached and said, "This subordinate is Duogu, skilled in unlocking. May I ask, Consort Yunxia, shall I undo it now, at once?" Consort Yunxia did not wish to be bound by these wretched chains for a single moment longer. Duogu nodded, inspecting the chains upon Consort Yunxia. He located the core of the lock, which possessed a keyhole requiring a key, but this posed no challenge to him. He extended his finger and inserted it into the keyhole. Upon meeting the hard surface, his finger softened, flowing like mud deep into the keyhole to fill it completely. With a mere thought, the mud solidified, forming a perfect key. With a twist of his finger, crack, the core unlocked, and the dragon, binding chains clattered off Consort Yunxia's body. She sighed in immense relief. Staring at her raw, chafed wrists, sparks of fury burst forth in her eyes. "Fang Chen, you had best pray I never catch you. Otherwise, I will make you taste the agony of being chained." The shadowless Demon King frowned and asked, "Consort Yunxia, this Fang Chen you speak of, could it be that Fang Chen?" Consort Yunxia scoffed. Who else could it be but him? He utilized a nascent soul jade talisman to wound and capture me alive. Fortunately, Demon King Chunny arrived in time, allowing us to turn the tables and hunt him down. Alas, he escaped using a spatial scroll. The shadowless Demon King's body trembled, his eyes flashing with utter disbelief. "The Fang Chen you mentioned, is he clad entirely in black with exceedingly pale skin?" Consort Yunxia paused, then immediately demanded with urgency, "You have seen him. When? Where?" The shadowless demon lord drew in a sharp breath of cold air. It truly was Fang Chen, to think he was the man of the current priest. If word of this were to spread, it would pierce the heavens. Without a second thought, he resolved to conceal this truth and feign ignorance. Whether speaking out would bring any benefit was unknown, but the detriments were guaranteed. He had no desire to provoke the priest's lineage. "Speak!" Consort Yunxia barked sharply, seeming to have become an entirely different person, completely devoid of her previous serene gentleness. The shadowless Demon King recovered his wits and hastily replied, "Did Consort Yunxia not just see him? Just now." Consort Yunxia frowned. "Do not speak to me in riddles. Speak clearly, where is he?" In truth, the answer had already formed in the depths of her heart. She simply refused to believe it. It was not until the shadowless Demon King cautiously stated, "It is the very man Consort Yunxia just bestowed a gift upon. However, I too was deceived by him, mistakenly believing him to be an envoy of the demon race's priest. I absolutely did not collude with a human." Consort Yunxia heard not a single word of his subsequent excuses. She staggered slightly, a suffocating breath expanding violently within her chest, choking her to the point of breathlessness. "That sir who spoke of the great harmony of the world, who declared you and I are that silhouette, the venerable master, whose teachings she had sincerely absorbed, whom she had admired and been moved by, to whom she had gifted the origin supreme treasure of the Silver Fox lineage, was actually that damned scoundrel. Not only had he swaggered away from right under her nose, but she had also foolishly presented him with a gift and watched him leave. This was utterly preposterous." Consort Yunxia abruptly unleashed a furious roar. Beneath her dress, 9 foxtails suddenly erupted, fiercely lashing the earth. Bang, bang, bang. Terrifying explosions echoed endlessly. The permafrost, frozen for a millennium and harder than iron, was shattered by the Nine Tails, fracturing into deep ravines as snowflakes splattered and frozen earth shot into the heavens. The surrounding war kings retreated in fright, and even the shadowless Demon King was terrified by the sheer ferocity. If one were struck by those tails, they would likely be reduced to mincemeat on the spot. At this moment, Consort Yunxia's face was brimming with murderous intent. She had transformed from a benevolent goddess into a terrifying Asura of death. Her feet stomped, cracking the permafrost, and she launched herself through the air. Her eyes overflowed with a chilling, killing intent as she raged, "Fang Chen, you are a dead man." Demon King Chunny scratched her head and hurriedly followed. Consort Yunxia did not pursue for long, upon a glacier 10 miles away from the military camp. She discovered the wisp of fox fur she had gifted away. It was precisely by tracking the aura of her own tail's fur that she had arrived. Unexpectedly, Fang Chen had been extremely vigilant. Realizing the aura upon it could easily be tracked, he had discarded such a crucial treasure. Detestable, Consort Yunxia tightly crushed the wisp of fox fur in her grasp. She felt that, by comparison, Fang Chen was much more akin to a fox, possessing a cunning that drove one to madness. At that moment, Demon King Chunny arrived, plowing and shattering the ice layers along the way. Suddenly, she noticed words carved into the snow nearby and muttered, "This fellow actually left a message." With just a single glance, her eyes widened into perfectly round saucers. She hurriedly used her body to block it from view. Consort Yunxia grew suspicious. "What did he write? Why are you blocking me from seeing it?" Demon King Chunny stammered, "Don't look at it. We had better hurry and chase him." The more she acted this way, the more Consort Yunxia needed to see what that accursed man had left behind. Shoving Chunny aside, she cast her gaze upon the characters on the ground. Yet upon seeing it, her lungs nearly exploded with rage. Carved into the ice surface were several crooked, sprawling characters of the demon race. To Consort Yunxia, may reading these words be like seeing me in person. I am indebted to the consort's profound affection in gifting me a lock of fur. However, as this Fang has a wife, and the consort has a husband, it is truly inappropriate to accept. I return this gift and implore you not to pursue me any further, lest others misunderstand and believe Consort Yunxia possesses a surging tide of love for this Fang. Consort Yunxia may not care for her reputation, but this Fang still must return home to face his wives and concubines. I hope the consort comprehends this. After reading, Consort Yunxia's body trembled violently. Her pearly teeth gritted together, grinding with a sickening creak. "You have a wife, I have a husband. I don't care for my reputation. While you must face your wives and concubines. Fang Chen, you shameless scoundrel." With a resounding bang, a single tail lashed out, violently smashing the inscribed words and the surrounding ice into utter oblivion. "Chunny, I shall pursue to the south. You return to the military camp and mobilize the Grand Army. I will find him even if I must forsake everything." Boom! She stomped the earth, shattering a massive expanse of ice, and launched herself forward. Chunny also hurried back to the camp to summon reinforcements. Little did they know, shortly after their departure, the glacier where the fox fur had rested trembled gently. A gap was smashed open at the base of the mountain, and Fang Chen poked his head out, looking left and right before cautiously squeezing his way out. He had calculated that once Consort Yunxia realized the truth, with his speed, he wouldn't be able to run far before being caught. He absolutely had to lure her away. Thus, he had deliberately left behind those harsh, provocative words to ignite her fury and send her far off. Glancing toward the south, Fang Chen frowned slightly and murmured, "I can only detour in another direction to return to the boundary mountain. Otherwise, I'll run smack into her." The words had barely left his lips when a voice as freezing as the 9 nether hells coldly echoed from above his head. "You need not go anywhere." Fang Chen's heart instantly skipped a beat. Without even tilting his head, he knew it was Consort Yunxia. So she had not fallen for his trick at all, but had remained hidden nearby in ambush, waiting for him to reveal himself. With a stiff neck, Fang Chen looked up to see Consort Yunxia clad entirely in white. With clenched fists, she stood atop the glacier. Her normally gentle, water-like immortal visage was completely replaced by unbridled fury, and her eyes shot out piercing glares as biting as glacial ice. "The exact same trick. Did you truly believe you could deceive me a second time?" Consort Yunxia said frostily. Fang Chen's expression stiffened. This Consort Yunxia was truly not easy to fool. He awkwardly waved his hand. "Fairy Yunxia, I trust you have been well." Consort Yunxia gnashed her teeth in anger, letting out a cold drawn-out laugh. "Hehe, young Master Fang is too polite. Am I not the one hounding you relentlessly, ruining your precious reputation?" Fang Chen said sheepishly, "A joke. That was merely a joke." Consort Yunxia flew down, her feet slamming heavily upon the earth. A massive fissure snaked out from beneath her feet, extending all the way to stand before Fang Chen. She stepped toward him. With every step she took, the chilling glint in her eyes intensified by threefold. Is my body soft? Is it fragrant? Was it comfortable to touch? Her murderous aura soared to the heavens. Fang Chen took a step back and coughed dryly. Consort Yunxia, please do not take offense. That was merely a routine search. There was no ill intent. This did absolutely nothing to quell Consort Yunxia's killing intent. Instead, it deepened it entirely. Delivering extra strikes to me, constantly maintaining my grievous wounds. Will you strike me again? Recalling all the vile deeds Fang Chen had committed, her fury multiplied with every thought. Fang Chen retreated once more. No more strikes. Suddenly, he tripped over a chunk of shattered ice and plummeted onto his rear upon the ground, just as Consort Yunxia finally arrived right before him. The terrifying aura of a perfected 9th-level Golden Core Realm cultivator erupted like an exploding volcano. With eyes spewing fire, she roared, in all my life, this consort has never suffered such a monstrous humiliation, touching my body, binding me in chains, and verbally harassing me. For every single transgression, you deserve to be torn into 10,000 pieces. Clatter. She drew out that long dragon, binding chain, and raged. First, I will make you taste the agony of being bound. Then I will smash your dog head and toss your corpse on the roadside to feed the dogs. The pigs, the beasts. Will you tie yourself up, or shall I do it for you? Fang Chen shrank his neck back and said, Consort Yunxia, please don't be like this. Right now, you are acting completely unlike your usual self. Consort Yunxia laughed in sheer fury. You still have the gall to mention that. Is this not all you're doing? If you won't bind yourself, this consort shall do it personally. Gripping the chains, she advanced upon him. With one hand, he seized Fang Chen's wrist and wound the dragon, binding lock around it. As her other hand reached out, she let out a sharp cry, her voice tinged with the feverish excitement of vengeance. Fang Chen obediently offered his other hand, within which rested a palm-sized 5-colored stone, the 5-colored magnetic primal mountain. Before Concubine Yunxia could discern what it was, Fang Chen, who had appeared resigned to his fate moments ago, suddenly erupted with killing intent. He bellowed, 5-colored divine light. His hand, supporting the 5-colored magnetic primal mountain, had already formed the incantation seal. He struck the mountain, and instantly, a radiant explosion of 5-colored light erupted, unfolding like an umbrella to envelop a radius of 30 feet. Concubine Yunxia shuddered, her instincts screaming for her to retreat. With her power, a mere tap of her toes should have propelled her several yards back, yet at this moment. Though she was of the demon race and possessed a terrifyingly powerful physique, her strength vanished into nothingness. Instead of generating force, her attempt to spring back left her legs weak, causing her body to go limp and collapse to the ground. Where is my power, you? What have you done? Concubine Yunxia's face paled with panic. She quickly realized this bizarre shroud of 5-colored divine light was responsible, and scrambled to crawl out of the radiance with what little strength remained. Fang Chen spoke indifferently. I have waited so long to lure you into this trap. Do you truly think I would let you escape? He delivered a ruthless palm strike toward the center of Concubine Yunxia's back. Sensing the mortal danger, she spun around to meet his blow, shouting desperately, "Begone." She could not muster a shred of strength, but Fang Chen was different. Within this domain, he was the absolute sovereign. Void, stream lightning force, intense bolts of lightning surged from his palm. Crack the moment their palms collided, the formidable lightning tore through Concubine Yunxia's arm, shattering her bones. The 5-colored divine light suppressed all power. As Concubine Yunxia's physical strength waned, the resilience of her body plummeted, allowing Fang Chen to break her bones with ease. Concubine Yunxia let out a pained groan, but Fang Chen showed no mercy, ruthlessly striking again at the vital point on her back. Fang Chen said coldly, I told you before, the debt of gratitude for saving my martial uncle has long been settled. I will show no mercy when we meet again, therefore I am sorry. The ferocious palm strike, imbued with void, stream lightning force, pierced through her back and surged directly into her heart, poised to shatter it instantly. In that moment of dire peril, a surge of nascent soul aura erupted from her heart. Not only did it instantly disperse the void, stream lightning force, but its residual power also surged toward Fang Chen. Fortunately, Fang Chen's reactions were swift. He evaded just in time, narrowly escaping a lethal blow. Fang Chen was profoundly shocked. This was even with the 5-colored divine light weakening the nascent soul aura. Had its power not been drastically reduced, he would have perished instantly. A look of regret crossed Concubine Yunxia's face as she remarked, truly, scoundrels live for 1,000 years. Even this could not kill you. Fang Chen's eyes flickered, and for a moment he dared not strike again. He asked in a heavy voice, what is happening inside your body? Concubine Yunxia wore a mocking expression. If I were so easy to kill, would the demon emperor dare let me venture out? Within me lies a secret demon art bestowed by the emperor, which activates during a life or death crisis. You were lucky that your 5-colored divine light weakened its power. Next time, luck may not be on your side. Fang Chen's gaze shifted uncertainly. Was this woman telling the truth or weaving a lie? After a brief moment of contemplation, he snorted coldly. What are you so proud of? Have you forgotten your current predicament? I may not kill you, but taking you back to the human race as a captive will pose no problem. He was unwilling to risk his life to kill her. Such a troublesome matter was best left to the high-ranking experts of the human race. Concubine Yunxia's expression stiffened, and her heart sank into the depths of despair. Fang Chen wore a faint, mocking smile. Concubine Yunxia, could it be that you miss your days as my prisoner? Concubine Yunxia cried out indignantly. Who would ever want to be your prisoner? Fang Chen remained unfazed. He picked up the dragon, binding lock from the ground, and sneered. You even prepared the dragon, binding lock for yourself, yet you claim otherwise. Truly a duplicitous woman. Amidst Concubine Yunxia's repeated cries of protest, Fang Chen bound her securely once more. To Concubine Yunxia's terror, Fang Chen placed his hand on her shoulder again and said playfully, Concubine Yunxia, now we shall follow the old rules. His palm pressed against her smooth collarbone and began to slide slowly downward. Fang Chen, stop this. Concubine Yunxia's beautiful face changed drastically, filled with shame and fury. Stop now, and I might consider sparing your life. Otherwise, Fang Chen remained deaf to her words. His palm roamed over her body. He could not be bothered to listen to a single word of such meaningless nonsense. As Fang Chen's hand moved across her, her body trembled once more. Overwhelmed by humiliation, she hissed, Fang Chen, to kill a man is but to bow the head. Why must you subject me to such indignity? Fang Chen rolled his eyes at her. Is it not because I cannot kill you that I must take you as a captive? Concubine Yunxia's expression froze, and her tone softened slightly as she tried to reason with him. But you searched me before. Why go through such unnecessary trouble again? Fang Chen finished searching her waist and sleeves, then reached toward her bosom. That was then, and this is now. You were rescued by the demon King Chunny for so long. Who knows what you might have hidden on your person? For the sake of safety, a new search is only prudent. As he spoke, he reached directly inside. Concubine Yunxia's entire body went rigid, as if an electric current had surged through her. The strange sensation filled her with shame and an inexplicable feeling that made her wish she could vanish into the earth. In her indignation, she closed her eyes and tilted her head back, allowing Fang Chen to continue his search. After another meticulous and detailed search, he indeed found something, a tuft of blood-stained silver fox fur. This fox fur truly shares a destiny with me. After all that wandering, it has returned, Fang Chen muttered. He did not hesitate to tuck it into his own robes. He then searched her legs and shoes. Finally, he paused, stroking his chin as he suddenly remembered one place he had nearly forgotten to check. Your 9 tails have grown back. With a flick of his hand, he lifted the hem of her skirt. This terrified Concubine Yunxia, who cried out, Don't move. I will extend my tails myself. If he searched there as well, her purity would be utterly defiled. She would rather die to preserve her chastity. 9 snow-white, fluffy tails emerged. Fang Chen grabbed one in his hand. Perhaps due to the influence of the 5-colored divine light, the foxtail felt soft and plush, providing a very comfortable sensation to the touch. If you must search, then search, but do not touch them so carelessly. As Fang Chen's palm brushed over the foxtail, Concubine Yunxia's body trembled slightly. An irrepressible, strange sensation flickered across her face, and a soft, mosquito-like moan escaped her lips. Realizing her lapse, she quickly covered her mouth and nose to remain silent, but her trembling gaze betrayed the turmoil within her heart. Fang Chen was taken aback. I have already searched your bosom. Why care about a few tails? He proceeded to check them one by one. Aside from a tuft of silver fox fur on each tail like the one before, there was nothing else. Driven by the thought of not leaving empty-handed, he plucked the silver fox fur tufts one by one. Hiss, Concubine Yunxia gasped in pain. Bastard, I, Yunxia, swear that I shall repay today's humiliation tenfold. So much nonsense. Fang Chen stowed the silver fox fur, and with a bend of his waist, hoisted her onto his shoulder. Concubine Yunxia was consumed by shame. To be captured twice by the same man, she had finally escaped, only to be caught again after a failed attempt at vengeance. If word reached the demon race, how could she ever show her face again? In her humiliation, she lowered her head and bit down hard on Fang Chen's back. Even though Fang Chen had achieved a perfected physique, the bite caused him a sharp pang of pain. With a raise of his hand, he struck out with a resounding slap, landing heavily upon Imperial Concubine Yunxia's pert buttocks. MMPH, Imperial Concubine Yunxia's body trembled as she abruptly released her bite, her complexion rapidly flushing a deep crimson. This concubine will never forgive you, never. Fang Chen coldly snorted, behave yourself, or there will be plenty of suffering in store for you. Suddenly Fang Chen spotted a stealthy giant wolf, prowling behind an ice mountain not far away. Those exposed golden claws were all too familiar. If it was not the golden, clawed iron wolf, then who could it be? It truly was a loyal wolf of the demon race, to think it was still following them. Come here? Around the golden, clawed iron wolf's neck rested a human collar. Although it was not as formidable as the sinful karma necklace, which could enslave even those at the 9th level of the golden core realm, it was more than capable of controlling the life and death of a 6th level golden core realm demonic beast. The golden, clawed iron wolf obediently emerged, sneaking a glance at Imperial Concubine Yunxia, whose face was flushed with shame and whose hair and garments were in utter disarray. It let out a dry cough, I only just arrived and saw absolutely nothing. Please, continue. It brushed past them without looking sideways, as if intending to be nothing more than a quiet, unassuming passerby. Tapping his toes against the ground, Fang Chen bounded onto its back with Imperial Concubine Yunxia hoisted over his shoulder, delivering a punch to its head. Shut your dog mouth and head back to the boundary mountain. The golden, clawed iron wolf ground its teeth. This little menace, getting it enslaved by humans was bad enough, but calling its mouth a dog's mouth. A dog might bear it, but a wolf absolutely cannot. Twisting its head around, it fiercely prepared to howl, only to see Fang Chen draw out that terrifyingly sharp purple sword. Its ferocious glare instantly melted into an endearing docility. Lord Fang wishes to practice his sword. Practice, please practice in peace. Leave the pathfinding to little gold here. You can rest absolutely assured. Fang Chen tossed Imperial Concubine Yunxia to the side, simultaneously placing the 5 magnetism primordial mountain beside her and activating the 5 magnetism divine light. With the dragon, binding lock coupled with the 5 magnetism divine light, even if she recovered a portion of her divine abilities, she would be unable to unleash even the slightest bit of power. Fang Chen sat cross-legged, placing the twin swords horizontally across his knees as he closed his eyes to cultivate the lower volume of the sword manipulation technique. Circulating his cultivation method, he channeled streak after streak of spiritual energy into the purple sword. From within the purple sword, myriad streams of sword kai fiercely scattered and surged into Fang Chen's body. How peerlessly sharp was the purple sword! It could easily sever all creation even across the void of space. Although it was only sword kai at this moment, it remained incomparably terrifying. In the instant it entered his body, Fang Chen perceived an agonizing pain striking him. His meridians had actually been severed. Startled, he hastily swallowed a rejuvenation medicinal pill, waiting quietly for his meridians to mend before daring to draw in another sliver of sword kai. This time, not only were his meridians sliced open, but even his internal organs were injured. Once again, he waited for the medicinal power of the rejuvenation pill to repair his meridians and viscera. This left Fang Chen clicking his tongue in profound astonishment. Did cultivating this lower volume require gambling with one's own life? Fortunately, I am a body cultivator with a physique far stronger than ordinary mortals. Otherwise, wouldn't this sword kai have shredded my bowels and pierced my stomach? Even if someone at the Golden Core realm truly managed to wield the spirit artifact, grade purple sword, who could possibly withstand the sword kai contained within. The one who created this lower volume was absolutely a lunatic with a hole in their head. Fang Chen grumbled in resentment for a long while. Only when his internal injuries had healed did he once again draw the sword kai into his body. Unsurprisingly, his meridians were severed once more. This excruciating cycle repeated for a full half-day. Fang Chen could already see the boundary mountain on the horizon. He gazed at the 9 completely empty bottles of rejuvenation pills before him, his heart aching with profound loss. Who would dare believe that cultivating a single sword technique would consume a full 90 rejuvenation pills? Along the journey, he had eaten rejuvenation pills like roasted beans just to sustain his cultivation. Although the sacrifice was rather steep, the harvest was equally substantial. Behind him, witnessing their imminent arrival at the Boundary Mountain, Imperial Concubine Yunxia revealed a look of utter despair. She spoke with furious indignation. "Fang Chen, you had best pray the Demon Emperor never discovers it was you who captured me. Whether you ascend to the heavens or plunge into the abyss, you will not escape death." Fang Chen cast a piercing glare back at her. Formlessly, 2 wisps of sword kai shot forth, directly piercing her eyes. Instantly, Imperial Concubine Yunxia's eyes were injured, bleeding incessantly. She cried out in a low voice, "How is there sword kai in your eyes? What chaotic sword technique have you been cultivating?" This was precisely Fang Chen's harvest, drawing sword kai into his body to temper his flesh, successfully forging a sword body. From this moment forth, every word, every movement, and every glance was imbued with sword kai. Fang Chen was quite satisfied with the effect. But what he anticipated most was the unity of sword and spirit, allowing him to ride his blade through the heavens. Seeing that the Boundary Mountain was near, he suppressed the urge to test it, lest flying on his sword invite unnecessary misunderstanding. If he were mistaken for a nascent soul realm expert, that would be quite the spectacle. Fang Chen noticed the sky suddenly darken, and upon looking up, he saw a dense black cloud shrouding his head before he knew it. Fang Chen frowned. Under a clear sky spanning 10,000 miles, from whence did this cloud come, and why did it shroud only him? At the same time, a faint, unhurried voice drifted from behind him. "Fellow Taoist ahead, might I accompany you on this journey?" Fang Chen turned his head to see a handsome, middle-aged man walking across the vast, snow-covered plains with his hands behind his back. He had long, golden hair and fair skin, dressed in black martial attire beneath a crimson cloak. With a single casual step, he traversed tens of zhang as if warping through space. It was uncannily similar to the legendary art of contracting the earth into an inch. Fang Chen's pupils constricted sharply. What divine ability was this? Not daring to be negligent, he quickly stood up and gripped his purple sword in defense. He spoke, "May I ask for your honored name, Senior?" The golden-haired man approached slowly, a faint smile on his face, the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion. It was someone from the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion. Glancing at the Boundary Mountain just ahead, Fang Chen pondered slightly. With a decisive battle looming, it was no surprise that the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion had dispatched experts to assist. Moreover, with the Boundary Mountain so near, no member of the demonic race would dare approach alone, would they? Otherwise, should Vice Pavilion Master Yi intervene, whoever came would surely leave their life behind. He cupped his hands and said, "Disciple Fang Chen pays his respects to the senior of the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion." Consort Yunxia's delicate body trembled violently as she suddenly lifted her head. Upon recognizing the middle-aged man, her eyes revealed utter disbelief, followed by profound joy. Her gaze toward Fang Chen was now filled with mockery. The golden-clawed iron wolf's eyes widened, its 4 legs wobbling uncontrollably until it nearly collapsed to the ground. The golden-haired man stepped forward and patted its leg gently. "What an obedient spirit, beast you are." These words frightened the golden-clawed iron wolf so much that it nearly perished on the spot. Its limbs shook incessantly as it let out whimpering pleas for mercy, desperate to explain. The golden-haired man, however, had already leaped onto its back and sat cross-legged, saying indifferently, "Let us go to the Boundary Mountain." The demon wolf dared not defy him, treading with heavy steps toward the mountain, fearing that even a moment's hesitation would bring dire consequences. Wary of this uninvited senior from the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion, Fang Chen immediately withdrew his 5 magnetic origin mountain. To ensure Consort Yunxia could not recover, he pressed his sword against her neck and barked, "Behave yourself. We are nearly at the Boundary Mountain. Do not force me to harm you." Unexpectedly, Consort Yunxia remained docile and silent, yet from an angle unseen by Fang Chen, a sneer played upon her lips. The golden-haired man glanced over indifferently and asked, "Who is this?" Fang Chen said, "Consort Yunxia, pray forgive my manners, Senior. This woman is a consort of the Demon Emperor. She is not only cunning, but quite dangerous. Most troublesome of all, she is difficult to slay, so I have no choice but to capture her and deliver her to our elders for judgment." The golden-haired man nodded slightly, praising, "A hero is born in youth. You once turned the tide against 1,000 demons, and now you have single-handedly captured the Demon Emperor's consort." Your name has already spread across both the human and demon realms. Fang Chen was observant and sensed a hint of something amiss. It did not seem like praise, but rather the manifestation of suppressed fury. He calmly concealed the doubt in his eyes and humbly replied, "You flatter me, Senior. It was merely luck. Might I ask if you have an important mission on this journey?" The golden-haired man looked calmly toward the boundary mountain and said, "My kin is in danger, so I have come to assist." He paused, looking at Fang Chen. "Since you are so accomplished, you must be exceptionally bright. I have a problem that has plagued me for a long time, and I wish to hear your opinion." Fang Chen's eyes shifted, and he said, "Please speak, Senior." The golden-haired man said, "A hero with the aid of many subordinates becomes a monarch. However, the monarch stands alone, while his subordinates possess vast, deeply rooted family powers that threaten his rule at any time. What do you think should be done?" Fang Chen was secretly surprised that such a question was asked, as he had expected something related to cultivation. However, it was not difficult to answer, as the history of his human race had long provided the answer. When a founding monarch grows old and frail, in order to ensure the smooth succession of power to the next generation, they invariably do one thing: slaughter the meritorious officials to eliminate the threat. But this is a desperate act of a dying ruler, and often earns a foul reputation in history. It is the lowest strategy. The golden-haired man was intrigued. "Oh, and are there middle and high strategies?" Fang Chen nodded slightly. "A wiser monarch begins to lay the groundwork years before his death, promoting corrupt officials to eliminate the meritorious ones by their hands. The ruler gains the benefit without dirtying his own hands, though he eventually earns the reputation of being a bad judge of character. This is the middle strategy." After a pause, Fang Chen continued, "The high strategy is perfect. Use the excuse of war to suppress the power of the meritorious officials. The monarch can use the momentum of a great victory to bolster his authority, then punish those factions, eliminating the targets. Furthermore, war is inherently cruel. Regardless of victory or defeat, the factions will be weakened. The monarch remains detached, enjoying all the benefits, while the subordinates bear the costs. This is truly the high strategy. However, this policy loses the hearts of the people and will eventually invite a backlash, so one must be cautious." Clap, clap, the golden-haired man applauded softly, making no effort to hide his approval. "Young man, you see things clearly. That answer is impeccable. Let me ask you one more question." He stood up slowly, staring at Fang Chen, and said, "Suppose in the enemy's camp a brilliant youngster appears, talented, peerlessly clever, and someone who has ruined our grand designs. Given time, he will surely become a disaster. If you were me, what would you do?" Fang Chen pondered seriously, then lifted Consort Yunxia and pressed his purple sword into her neck, saying calmly, "Naturally, I would do as you are doing now, go around asking questions. Do you find it amusing to toy with a youngster in such a way?" The demon emperor, the air seemed to freeze. The golden-clawed iron wolf broke into a cold sweat. This little brat had figured it out. Consort Yunxia was also slightly surprised that Fang Chen had pierced through the facade. The demon emperor let out a hearty laugh, and his sky-piercing demonic aura surged into the heavens like a tangible force. It caused the dark clouds above to rumble with thunder, while a torrential gale erupted, churning the snow into a chaotic blizzard that swallowed the sun, as if the apocalypse had descended upon the world. "Ha ha ha, how interesting. By what logic do you conclude that I am the demon emperor?" With his hands clasped behind his back, the demon emperor gazed at Fang Chen with a cryptic smile, in no hurry to strike. Fang Chen tightened his grip on the chain around Concubine Yunxia's neck, pressing his purple blade firmly against her skin, his expression cold, because "Your concubine and that demonic wolf have been far too docile since you arrived. I could think of no one else capable of cowing them into such submission, save for the demon emperor." When a powerhouse from the human heavenly mystery pavilion descends, a woman as fearless of death as Concubine Yunxia should not be so deathly silent, nor should a beast as clamorous as the golden-clawed iron wolf remain utterly mute. There is only one possibility: the presence of this golden-haired man has forced their absolute obedience. Coupled with the fact that you possess a human form devoid of any traits of the demonic race, in the entire demon realm, there is only one who fits such conditions: the demon emperor. "Truly clever," the demon emperor said with a faint smile. "Worthy of one who could speak of a world of great harmony and bamboozle the legions of the southwestern camp, as well as my own concubine." It turned out that Fang Chen's activation of the profuse thunder force had triggered a reaction in Yunxia. The aura of the nascent soul within the concubine's heart was sensed simultaneously by the demon emperor, who had rushed over only after realizing she was in peril. He had naturally made a detour through the nearby southwestern camp, where he had roughly pieced together the events that transpired. Having heard of the world of great harmony for the first time, he too was struck with awe, which prompted him to test Fang Chen with difficult questions. He had not expected Fang Chen to be so talented. The three strategies, superior, average, and inferior, forced him to lament how fortunate it would be if this lad were of the demonic race. Alas, not only was he not a demon, but he was a bitter foe of the race, a mere human junior. The demon emperor stood with his hands behind his back and said calmly, "Tell me, what should I do with you? No matter how I think about it, cutting weeds and eliminating the roots is for the best, is it not?" Fang Chen replied coldly, "As you wish. At least with your concubine to accompany me in the afterlife, the journey down to the abyss will not be lonely." The demon emperor shook his head and said indifferently, "It seems you have some misunderstandings about me." Having spoken, he waved his hand, and a terrifying, majestic force slammed into Concubine Yunxia's abdomen. The horrific power punched a bloodied hole directly through her stomach, drawing a piercing, mournful scream from her. Already suffering from internal wounds, her condition had turned dire. The force did not dissipate. After piercing through Concubine Yunxia, it struck Fang Chen as well. With a muffled thud, a bloodied hole was also blasted into Fang Chen's abdomen, and he was sent flying, crashing into the snow far away. Fang Chen was shocked. Was Concubine Yunxia not the demon emperor's most favored consort? How could he be so indifferent to her life or death? The demon emperor said impassively, "I never bow to threats." He approached Concubine Yunxia, squeezed a drop of his incomparably pure demon emperor essence blood from his fingertip, and let it fall onto her abdomen. His essence blood was even more heaven-defying than a medicinal pill, and the life-threatening, massive wound began to heal at a speed visible to the naked eye. Thank you, demon emperor," Concubine Yunxia murmured, enduring the sharp pain as she knelt on one knee. The demon emperor produced a severed finger, the very one belonging to the many-boned war king, ripped and cut forcibly from the war king's own hand. He undid the chains for Concubine Yunxia, and with a look of tenderness, he helped her up. "You have been wronged." He cupped her beautiful, immortal face in his hands and leaned in, intending to kiss her forehead. Concubine Yunxia struggled and pulled away, retreating 3 steps to widen the distance between them. She bowed and said, "Demon Emperor, please restrain yourself." The demon emperor extended his hand, but after a moment, he let out a faint sigh. He turned his gaze back to Fang Chen, and seeing that the youth's wounds were also healing at a visible rate, he could not help but show a hint of astonishment. "How many medicinal pills have you consumed for this effect, to think you could recover so quickly?" As her body improved, Concubine Yunxia turned toward Fang Chen, murderous intent surging in her eyes. "Demon Emperor, please allow me to slaughter him with my own hands." The humiliation she had suffered along the way finally needed an ending. The demon emperor said indifferently, "Keep him alive." Concubine Yunxia said in disbelief, "Demon Emperor, he is Fang Chen, the man who ruined the plans of our undead army. He is the disgrace of our entire demonic race." The demon emperor's gaze remained calm. Killing him before the eyes of the demon armies can ignite their morale. Killing him before the eyes of the human armies can vent our rage and crush the enemy's spirit. But killing him at this moment serves no purpose. Concubine Yunxia was deeply unreconciled, only to find the demon emperor's deep, dark eyes staring quietly at her. "Since when did you become so bloodthirsty? Or is it that this man did something to you that makes him so imperative to kill?" Concubine Yunxia's expression stiffened. How could she dare admit that Fang Chen had touched her entire body, and twice at that? She quickly and guiltily suppressed her killing intent. She replied, "This man captured me alive twice. Such a strange and shameful humiliation. I cannot find peace of mind without killing him." The demon emperor nodded slightly. For the strongest concubine of the demon realm to be captured twice by the same human, and a mere junior at that, anyone in her position would naturally be unable to rest until Fang Chen was put to death. "I will let you deal with him when the time comes to kill him," the demon emperor commanded, refusing to brook any argument as he insisted on sparing Fang Chen. Still deeply unreconciled, Concubine Yunxia gritted her teeth. "Then let me shatter his hands and feet, so he, too, may taste the flavor of torture." He had plucked the fur from her origin foxtail and broken her bones. She wanted to return every bit of the cruelty Fang Chen had shown her. She could not let him remain comfortable. What value is there in tormenting him? The demon emperor shook his head calmly. "Provide him with food and drink and bring him back to the demon realm. When the time comes to end him, let him meet his fate with dignity." Having finished, he picked up the dragon binding chain and tossed it before Fang Chen. "Put it on yourself and follow Concubine Yunxia back to the demon realm obediently." Consider this the reward for answering this emperor's question. The demon emperor said indifferently. Concubine Yunxia's eyes flickered with astonishment. What about you, demon emperor? The demon emperor gazed into the distant sky, where at the edge of the world, a dark cloud was similarly advancing with tremendous speed. Naturally, I shall meet an old friend. Go. Concubine Yunxia's pupils quivered. The pavilion master of heaven's secret has descended. Daring not to delay, she dashed before Fang Chen and kicked the dragon, binding lock on the ground. Do you need me to do it for you? Fang Chen certainly would not dare let her do it. This woman was currently harboring a bellyful of resentment, constantly scheming ways to exact revenge upon him. With the demon emperor present, Fang Chen harbored no illusions of luck, directly locking himself up. The fact that the demon emperor refrained from killing him and even forbade Concubine Yunxia from tormenting him was already a preferential treatment far beyond his wildest imagination. If he failed to appreciate this favor and provoked the demon emperor's killing intent, no matter how many life-saving methods he possessed, all would be in vain. It was better to follow Concubine Yunxia for now and seek an opportunity to escape midway. Concubine Yunxia grabbed Fang Chen, tossed him onto the back of the golden, clawed iron wolf, and struck the beast's head. What are you staring blankly for? The golden, clawed iron wolf whimpered endlessly in grievance. Fang Chen struck it, and Concubine Yunxia also struck it. It seemed that it was caught in the middle, a wretched beast, shunned by both humans and demons alike. By the time they departed into the distance, that dark cloud had also arrived. The demon emperor's long golden hair danced wildly in the astral winds, his eyes burning with an overflowing battle intent. Pavilion Master of Heaven's Secret, it has been a long time. I wonder how your cultivation of the 6 divisions of heavenly lightning, Black Heaven pupil, is progressing. This emperor shall test your skills once more. An indifferent yet majestic voice echoed from within the clouds. You should be prepared to perish here. Crack, 2 straight bolts of heavenly lightning pierced through heaven and earth, striking downward. The demon emperor let out a long burst of laughter as he soared into the sky, charging into the clouds to engage in a heaven-shaking battle. Instantly, the rumbling of heavenly thunder and the howling of astral hurricanes filled the air as apocalyptic shockwaves swept across the surroundings like the shattering of the world. Far away at the edge of the world, the masses at the boundary mountain watched the sky change color, all trembling with deep-seated terror. Fang Chen and the others, who had not yet traveled far, felt the terrifying rolling might of the heavens at an even closer range. Fang Chen had no doubt that if he were to approach the battlefield, even the slightest aftershock would reduce him to ash and scatter him to the winds. As they journeyed further away, Fang Chen gazed toward the horizon and could not help but frown. This is not the direction to the heartland of the demon race, is it? The demon heartland should be due north, yet we are heading northeast. Concubine Yunxia glared at him and said, Why are you asking so many questions? Stand up. Fang Chen was taken aback. For what? The demon emperor explicitly stated that I must be provided with fine food and drink, and that I cannot be harmed. Do you dare disobey the demon emperor's command? Concubine Yunxia scoffed. Hand over everything you have on you. Do not force me to search your body. Having engaged in a battle of wits and courage with Fang Chen along the way, Concubine Yunxia had suffered 2 massive setbacks, both due to his endless array of methods. She did not dare allow Fang Chen to keep those items. Yet Fang Chen blurted out, Then search me. I searched you before, so you can search me now. Then we will be even. Concubine Yunxia was flustered and enraged. Shameless, golden, clawed iron wolf, you search him. The galloping golden, clawed iron wolf came to a halt. It raised its massive, hill-like claw and compared it to Fang Chen's stature. It said uncertainly, Concubine Yunxia, are you certain you want me to search him? Fang Chen isn't even as large as my claw. Looking at Fang Chen's utterly fearless expression, Concubine Yunxia picked up his purple sword and placed it against his neck. Will you hand them over or not? Fang Chen maintained an intrepid expression, crossing his arms over his chest. I won't. If you have the ability, then kill me. Concubine Yunxia was infuriated. This bastard, she had thought that by capturing him, she could exact a vicious revenge. Yet, with the demon emperor's single command forbidding death or injury, Fang Chen had instead become the master. She could do absolutely nothing to him and still had to endure his insolence. Then I will search you. Gritting her teeth, Concubine Yunxia marched over. She extended her hand but still felt too ashamed to follow through. She complained, where did that wretched girl Chunny run off to? Why hasn't she come over yet? At this moment, Fang Chen's tone softened. All right, I won't make things difficult for you. I will search myself. He took out a jade box. It contained the exact nascent soul jade talisman that Concubine Yunxia felt most threatened by. She hastily snatched it away. Remembering something else, she added, and that miniature 5, colored mountain, that 5, magnetic divine light, had made her suffer enough hardships and posed an equally great threat. Feeling helpless, Fang Chen also took it out and tossed it to her, saying, "You had better catch it steadily." Concubine Yunxia casually caught it, but unexpectedly, an unimaginable, monumental force pressed down. Even with her profound strength, she barely managed to hold it. The sheer weight nearly crushed the golden, clawed iron wolf beneath them alive. She quickly utilized the technique of deflecting 1,000 caddies with 4 tails, hurling the miniature 5, colored mountain away. Bang, the miniature mountain smashed into the side, directly sinking a massive expanse of the ice layer and frightening the golden, clawed iron wolf so much that its fur stood on end. It shrieked, "Be careful, both of you. I am right underneath." Fang Chen inwardly sighed with regret. If only he could have fused that pile of 5 colored stones into the 5 magnetic primeval mountain. He reckoned that the impact just now would have been enough to crush Concubine Yunxia to death. What origin does this mountain possess? It is so peculiar. Consort Yunxia felt lingering fear. Fang Chen held it as lightly as a feather, yet touching it felt like facing a mountain. Anything else, Consort Yunxia stared intently at Fang Chen. Fang Chen produced 9 tufts of fox fur. Consort Yunxia snatched them away. Nothing else, Fang Chen stated. The violet sword, the nascent soul jade talisman, the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain, and the fox fur are all with you. What more do you desire? Consort Yunxia narrowed her eyes, exclaiming, "No, you tricked me earlier with the corpse of a demonic beast. Such a colossal corpse must be stored in a spatial storage artifact. You definitely have one. Also, your violet sword appears and disappears at will. Undoubtedly, it is also hidden within that spatial storage artifact. Hand it over." Fang Chen gritted his teeth, reluctantly retrieving the heavenly lightning stone from his embrace. Consort Yunxia seized the item and swept her divine sense into it. Her jade countenance couldn't help but change. 7, colored profound ice, blood bod high 1,000, year spirit meat, soul formation essence blood, the moon of demon's jade bone necklace, heavenly mountain, silkworm silk, illusory face, demonic pill. Thunder evolution token. Consort Yunxia could hardly believe her eyes. She exclaimed in astonishment, "Are you truly a mere disciple? This collection surpasses even that of a sect master." Even as a consort of the demon emperor, she did not possess so many treasures. Fang Chen stated with a grim face, "And it all ended up benefiting you." Upon hearing this, Consort Yunxia's gloomy mood finally eased. She couldn't help but laugh. "It's good, you know. From now on, all of this is mine." Fang Chen scoffed. "Do you wish to continue the body search?" Having obtained so many treasures, Consort Yunxia was already overjoyed. She waved her hand. "No need, no need." "Wait." Her alluring eyes suddenly narrowed. "You are always so cunning. You are cooperating so readily this time. I suspect you've already produced some crucial items and are using the heavenly lightning stone and other things to distract me." After pondering, she suppressed her inner shyness and said, "For safety's sake, a body search is still necessary." Enduring the strange sensation, she extended her palm and began to search Fang Chen. Fang Chen laughed indignantly. "Very well, very well. The esteemed consort of the demon emperor touching me, I am not at a loss. Search away, search as you please." Consort Yunxia blushed crimson, glaring. "Shut your mouth. It's your own cunning that forces me to resort to this. Do not think your words will make me give up. I will search regardless." Indeed, after a short while, Consort Yunxia discovered several jade bottles within Fang Chen's embrace, sneering, "I knew you were hiding something." "What is this? Healing medicinal pills. These seem to be pills for luring demonic beasts, and this replenishes spiritual energy. However, what is in this pink bottle?" Consort Yunxia looked at the last bottle, containing a pink liquid, and was about to pry open the stopper. Fang Chen's expression changed drastically. "Do not open it. It contains aphrodisiac powder." Consort Yunxia dropped it in fright, exclaiming in shame and anger, "Why do you carry such a vile item?" "Shameless, utterly shameless." Fang Chen rolled his eyes. "Why are you in such a hurry? Even if I were to use it, I wouldn't use it on a married woman like you, would I? I have no interest in shoes that others have already worn." Consort Yunxia raised her fist, ready to beat Fang Chen soundly. Recalling the Demon Emperor's command, she could only take deep breaths to calm her heaving chest. She unceremoniously shoved all the medicinal pills into her spatial storage artifact. Only the aphrodisiac powder she disdainfully kicked away. Fang Chen promptly caught it and tucked it into his sleeve, scoffing, "You can confiscate my belongings, but do not touch a mere bottle of aphrodisiac powder." Consort Yunxia deemed it no threat, and thus paid it no mind, failing to notice a flicker of excitement in Fang Chen's eyes. This was the Six Harmonies elixir gifted to him by Yu Mingzhu, an aphrodisiac potent enough to overwhelm even those in the nascent soul realm. If pushed, Fang Chen would use the Six Harmonies elixir as leverage. If they were both affected, so be it. He didn't believe Consort Yunxia, while unafraid of death, would be unafraid of losing her reputation. Consort Yunxia did not notice this. Instead, her gaze fell upon the chain on Fang Chen's hand, and she recalled a crucial matter I almost forgot. "Hand over the key to the dragon binding chain. Wu Man, you stuffed the key into your crotch back then. This item must be with you." Fortunately, she remembered. If Fang Chen had unlocked the chain unbeknownst to her, she wouldn't have known. Heh, Fang Chen rolled his eyes and lay down on the fluffy wolf's back, pointing to his crotch. "You're so good at searching, aren't you? Continue searching, it's right there." He didn't believe this woman would dare to touch that area. To his surprise, Consort Yunxia, blushing furiously, gritted her teeth. "Fine, I will search. It's better than you escaping and plotting against me again." I fear Fang Chen. Even a slight opportunity allows him to turn the tables. I absolutely do not wish to experience the humiliation of being captured for the third time. Immediately, her smooth jade hand delved in. Fang Chen shivered in shock and quickly sat up, grabbing her hand. You actually dare to touch it," he exclaimed. Consort Yunxia's face was utterly crimson. She gritted her teeth. "You forced me to do this. If you had just handed it over, none of this would be happening." Releasing his grip, she forced her way further in. Fang Chen was so flustered he turned completely red. He quickly said, "I'll give it to you." Consort Yunxia then withdrew her hand, her face flushed, and turned her head away, extending her hand towards Fang Chen. "Give it to me, don't try to trick me again." Fang Chen was truly intimidated by her. Seeing her modesty, he steeled his heart. Her courage, however, surpassed Yu Mingzhu's. He reached into his bound hair and retrieved a key as long as his index finger, and placed it into Consort Yunxia's hand. "Take it." Consort Yunxia examined it and confirmed it was the key. The unease that had been weighing on her heart finally dissipated. Only a restrained Fang Chen was a good Fang Chen. Any item he possessed that she could not control made Consort Yunxia restless. She was a cultivator at the peak of the 9th level of the Golden Core realm, one who had undergone tribulation, possessing strength far beyond ordinary 9th level Golden Core cultivators. Yet she was filled with apprehension towards Fang Chen. Now she could finally feel at ease. Consort Yunxia sat down and, as if possessing a great treasure, began to inventory the spoils confiscated from Fang Chen. "Yunxia, Yunxia," a distant cry, accompanied by a rumbling tremor, approached. It was Demon King Chun Nai. Consort Yunxia nearly coughed up blood in anger. "You've arrived at the most opportune moment. If you had come a little earlier, I wouldn't have had to personally search Fang Chen in such shame and be called shameless by him." As soon as Demon King Chun Nai arrived, Consort Yunxia shot her a fierce glare. She couldn't help but shrink back fearfully, saying, "Yunxia, what did I do wrong?" She looked like a child who had made a mistake. Consort Yunxia couldn't bear to blame her and said, "Forget it, it's not your fault. Furthermore, do not address me so casually. Whether anyone is present or not, you will call me Consort Yunxia." She did not wish for their intimate relationship to be known. "Consort Yunxia," Demon King Chun Nai said obediently. Consort Yunxia let out a sigh, feeling utterly exhausted. From the first time Fang Chen captured her to this moment, only a single day had passed, yet she felt as though she had endured a long nightmare, leaving her profoundly weary. Fortunately, with Mo Meng having been captured along with Fang Chen, everything was now over. As if fate were playing a cruel trick, Demon King Chun Nai suddenly remembered something. With a pained expression, she pulled out a beast skin from her embrace and returned it to Consort Yunxia, saying, "I apologize, consort of the Demon Emperor. I asked others for you, but no one recognizes the demonic script on it." Consort Yunxia took it and finally recalled that she had split the beast skin with the ancient Dayong clan script into 2 parts. One part was given to Demon King Chun Nai to take back to the demon realm, to ask the elders if any still mastered this ancient script. She kept the other half, painstakingly deciphering it through ancient texts. The demon race was not adept at recording their civilization. She had scoured ancient texts and could only recognize a few characters, the rest remaining like an unreadable celestial book. She never imagined that in this world, someone would actually master the Da Yong clan's demonic script and casually recite it. This person was none other than Fang Chen. The mere thought of being associated with Fang Chen made Consort Yunxia's scalp tingle, and she felt a deep sense of resistance. Indeed, as she looked at Fang Chen, he was also looking at her with a half-smile. Consort Yunxia, do you require my assistance in deciphering the Da Yong clan's demonic script? I am a helpful person and am willing to lend my aid. However, my legs are sore right now, and I hope Consort Yunxia can help me rub them. See, what did I tell you? This fellow is impossible to get rid of. Once you touch him, he clings to you. Consort Yunxia gritted her teeth, wishing Fang Chen would just disappear. The reality, however, was that she could only seek Fang Chen's help for the Da Yong clan's demonic script. To speak practically, Consort Yunxia prepared herself for a heavy price. Fang Chen beckoned. I will help you decipher the Da Yong clan's demonic script, and all my belongings, every last one, will be returned to me. What? Consort Yunxia's heart ached as if being torn asunder. She had scarcely warmed the heavenly thunderstone in her grasp before she was forced to return it. The mere thought of the myriad treasures within, each one making her heart race with desire, filled her with an immense unwillingness to part with it. It seems my collection is more important to you than this famed cultivator's abode. In that case, you might as well hold onto my heavenly thunderstone, he said, lying back down comfortably with an air of complete control. Consort Yunxia seethed with resentment. After a long, conflicted moment, she conceded, fine, I can return it to you, but the nascent soul jade talisman, the violet sword, and the five-element magnetic mountain are exempt, the rest I will return to you. Infuriated, she hurled the heavenly thunder stone back at him. Fang Chen roared with laughter as he sat up, snatching the heavenly thunder stone from the air. It went out for a little stroll, and has now returned to its master. Consort Yunxia, I must ask, was any of this truly necessary? You've wasted all this effort on me, only to search my body, lose face, and suffer my scolding. Tusk, tusk, tusk. Seething with vexation, Consort Yunxia slammed the other half of the beast hide down before him. Cease your drivel. Read it. Fang Chen picked up the beast hide and said unhurriedly, let me have a look. This second verse is just as cryptic as the first. It roughly means, when 9 times 9 returns to the one, the morning snow meets spring and is gone. A dream of yellow springs, ancient and new. All that remains is a legacy passed through. After reciting it, Fang Chen recalled the first verse. Western clouds conceal heaven and earth. A bell's toll heralds midnight's birth. Good and evil part upon 2 roads. One sits before Buddha's abodes. Connecting the 2 verses, he could not help but frown. Are you certain nothing is missing? It did not seem like a treasure map marking the location of a hidden hoard. Consort Yunxia's delicate, willow leaf brows furrowed. The 8-line prophecy was far too vague, offering no clear path to understanding. It felt less like directions to an ancient cultivator's abode, and more like the nonsensical whining of a poorly written poem. Yet the man had clutched it tightly even in the throes of death, a clear sign that it was no ordinary object. Suddenly, after reciting the verses repeatedly, Fang Chen's eyes lit up with understanding. I see it now. This doggerel verse, it conceals the location within its lines. Joy blossomed on Consort Yunxia's face. What have you discovered? Fang Chen held out his palm. Return 1 more of my belongings to me. Consort Yunxia bit her crimson lip lightly. You truly never miss an opportunity to bargain. This had better not be a deception. After a moment's thought, she tossed the violet sword back to Fang Chen. Speak. Cradling the violet sword, a sense of reassurance washing over him, Fang Chen instructed. Take the first character of each of the 4 lines in the second verse and read them together. Consort Yunxia recalled the verse and spoke the words aloud. Ju, Ko, Gu, Du, the ancient capital of 9 dynasties. The ancient capital of 9 dynasties. She shot to her feet. Is that not the ancient ruin of the demonic race? In primordial times, 9 successive generations of demon emperors had established their imperial capital there. It was later annihilated by ancient giants and razed to the very ground, known to later generations only as the ancient capital of 9 dynasties. So it was there all along. A tide of elation washed over Consort Yunxia's face. She then recited the first characters of the upper verse. Zai, Zhang, Shan, Fo, Western Bell. Could it be the Western Bell Temple? Consort Yunxia grew even more certain. The ancient capital of 9 dynasties did indeed once house a magnificent and famous ancient temple, known as the Western Bell Temple. As for benevolent Buddha, its meaning remains unclear. We can only investigate further once we arrive. Golden, clawed iron wolf, change course, we head west to the ancient capital of 9 dynasties of the demonic race. At that moment, the black mirror trembled. The evil spirit let out a faint sigh. It seems all things are truly destined by fate. Fang Chen caught the underlying meaning in its tone and asked in surprise, "You know of this place?" The evil spirit's voice was laced with complexity. "Of course, it is the very place where I fell." Fang Chen drew in a sharp, cold breath. In its life, the evil spirit had been a mighty existence at the late stage of the nascent soul realm. Yet even it had perished in that place. The peril of the land was terrifyingly clear. "And there's more," Fang Chen recalled. "I remember you once said you died fighting the Tiger Demon Emperor over the Black Mirror. Later, the Tiger Demon Emperor also perished under mysterious circumstances. Could his death also be connected to this place?" The evil spirit rolled its eyes. "I was already dead by then. You're asking me, who am I supposed to ask?" After a moment of contemplation, it added, "However, judging by the timeline, I fear the Tiger Demon Emperor also met with disaster in the ancient capital, though he may have escaped with his life. He still succumbed to his injuries not long after." A chilling numbness crept over Fang Chen's scalp. The Tiger Demon Emperor's power had surpassed that of the evil spirit, for he had already touched the very edge of the soul formation realm. For even he to have fallen in the ancient capital of 9 dynasties meant the place surely harbored a truly monstrous peril. "This place, I must plan my approach with the utmost care." Fang Chen's grip tightened around his violet sword. The evil spirit and the Tiger Demon Emperor were both peerless experts of their era, yet they had both met their doom in this place. For Fang Chen and consort Yunxia to venture there, what difference was there from walking willingly into death's embrace? "Fear not," the wicked spirit soothed. "I am familiar with this place, and I shall ensure your safety." Seeing Fang Chen falter, the wicked spirit could not help but grow anxious. Without Fang Chen to lead the way, he alone could not possibly obtain that nascent soul husk for the sake of body, snatching, and resurrection. Fang Chen laughed coldly. "Gaze into the mirror and behold your own visage. Do these words, issuing from your lips, carry even a shred of credibility?" At his zenith, he had perished within the ancient capital of the 9 dynasties. Now, a mere remnant soul, scarcely able to preserve himself, how could he possibly protect Fang Chen? The wicked spirit stammered. "That secret realm is divided into inner and outer layers. The Tiger Demon Emperor and I were harmed within the inner realm. The dangers of the outer realm were long since trod upon by the Tiger Demon Emperor and myself, and the ancient nascent soul corpse I discovered resides within the outer realm." Fang Chen dared not believe a single word of his pronouncements. He contemplated in silence, pondering when the opportunity would arise to employ the art of sword flight, and thus to cast off the shackles of Lady Yunxia. A pity, indeed, that the nascent soul jade talisman and the 5 magnetic mountains still remained within her grasp. But for the sake of one's life, sacrifices must be made. At this moment, Lady Yunxia was wholly engrossed in her journey, offering Fang Chen naught but a silhouette. The Spring Night Demon King, too, did not fixate upon Fang Chen. In the eyes of these two powerhouses, each at the pinnacle of the Golden Core 9th level, Fang Chen had no chance of escape. Just as Fang Chen perceived his opportunity and prepared to unleash his sword flight, the wicked spirit steeled his resolve and declared, "Very well." In truth, what I discovered initially was not merely the ancient nascent soul corpse, but also its spatial storage artifact. However, due to the Tiger Demon Emperor, I feigned ignorance, intending to return in secret, after they had parted ways, to claim the nascent soul corpse and the spatial storage artifact. I never imagined I would perish within that inner realm. This time, I have you lead me to that nascent soul corpse. Borrowing its body for resurrection is secondary. It is primarily for its spatial storage artifact. The spatial storage artifact of a nascent soul powerhouse, Fang Chen's heart stirred with longing. He had once benefited from the ancient nascent soul cave dwelling beneath the snow-capped cliffs, reaping both the 3 purities Thunder Shadow and the Boundless Ring, which were mere trifles left behind by the other. Now, a spatial storage artifact containing the complete possessions of a nascent soul powerhouse, what treasures would it hold? The mind reeled at the thought. After much contemplation, he inquired, "Are you certain there are no perils within the outer realm?" The wicked spirit replied, "If dangers lurked, I would not dare to involve you. Should you perish within, would I not be trapped within the mirror, forever bound to that place?" Indeed, such was the case. Their fates were now intertwined, their fortunes shared. Before the act of body snatching, should Fang Chen die, he would gain nothing. Of course, one could only trust half of what the wicked spirit uttered. Fang Chen still needed to bolster his own strength, lest unforeseen circumstances arise. With this thought, he glanced at the two women. Still oblivious to his actions, he quietly probed the heavenly thunderstone. Amidst a trove of celestial treasures, he located an unassuming white jade bone, inscribed with the clumsy, yet telling, script of the Yao race. It was none other than the true inheritance, the venerable true spirit technique found within the giant sect's sacred grounds, penned by Lu Jialin. Formerly, hindered by his lack of understanding of the Yao script, he was denied the chance to cultivate. Now, at last, he could thoroughly examine this body-refining cultivation method, a practice accessible to both humans and Yao. The venerable true spirit technique, an earth-grade superior cultivation method, was divided into the 4 states of heaven, earth, human, and divine. To master a single state grants 1 invincibility within the golden core realm. To master 2 states, a Yao may transform, and a human may attain a golden body. Upon reaching this point, Fang Chen's pupils contracted violently. The Yao's transformation, was it not the demon emperor? That golden body, did it not signify the human body transcending its limitations, reaching a level comparable to the demon emperor? To master 3 states, one could be invincible within the nascent soul realm. To master the 4th state, alas, though I initiated this art, I lacked the fortune to achieve this state. Yet, from my estimations, one could contend against a soul formation cultivator. Fang Chen's pupils flickered violently. 3 states invincible against nascent soul, 4 states capable of battling soul formation. Indeed, a remarkable creation by a near soul formation half, Yao great being. His heart pounded. If he were to master it, would he not be immediately invincible beneath the nascent soul realm? To master any single state required the true spirit blood, a blood that was exceedingly rare within the heavens and earth, only to be found by those of unparalleled fortune. True spirit blood. Fang Chen withdrew his divine sense, his gaze lost in thought, and only then did he notice that Lady Yunxia was peering at him with narrowed eyes. "What are you doing?" she inquired with suspicion. Fang Chen, returning to his senses, spoke frankly, reading a book. "I encountered a mention of a blood called true spirit blood. Lady Yunxia, with your vast knowledge, should have heard of it, yes." Lady Yunxia nodded. "Would you like to know?" She extended her palm before Fang Chen. "What does this mean?" Fang Chen questioned. Lady Yunxia stated, "A blood bod high, and I shall unveil the mysteries of true spirit blood." Fang Chen was taken aback. Must one pay a price even to ask a question? Lady Yunxia scoffed. "Is this not what you do? You demand a spatial storage artifact for translating a few characters of the Daying clan's language." The boomerang had struck him after all. Fang Chen took out a blood bod high and tossed it to her. "Speak," he said. Yunxia's delicate face lit up with joy. This was a supreme treasure for someone at the 9th layer of the golden core realm, capable of resisting heavenly tribulations. True spirit blood originates from the vital essence of an ancient beast of the sage realm. Fang Chen was utterly dumbfounded. An ancient beast of the sage realm, let alone whether one could encounter them, who would dare to covet their essence if they did. Of course, their descendants carry diluted true spirit blood within them. If one could gather enough of their blood, it's not impossible to refine a single drop. However, ancient beasts of the sage realm are exceedingly rare. The ancient war millennia ago claimed the lives of most of them. The remaining lineages number less than 10, scattered across the heavens and earth. Finding one is no easy feat. There was another unspoken truth. Even if one found them, what then? The descendants of sage realm beings would undoubtedly belong to incredibly formidable clans. Who would dare to harbor ill intentions towards them so carelessly? It would be a suicidal act. Fang Chen likewise considered these dangers and couldn't help but let out a wry smile. Was this a cultivation method he could even aspire to? He immediately abandoned the thought of cultivating it. With a wave of his hand, he said, take it. Consider it feeding to the dogs. I gave away a blood bod high for free. What a colossal loss." Yunxia shot him a glare. "Can't you say anything decent, you brute?" Why did this fellow always manage to infuriate her? She truly wished to smash the blood bod, high against his face. But then she reasoned that her questions had been answered, and she had already suffered his ire. Destroying the blood bod, I would only mean a loss for her. Gloomily, she prepared to accept it. But at that very moment, a bolt of lightning descended. It flashed past Yunxia, and the blood bod high in her hand instantly vanished without a trace. 6 heavenly thunder arts, shadow in the clouds. Yunxia's eyes widened in shock, and she glared at Fang Chen, her gaze burning with fury. Yet she found Fang Chen sitting perfectly still in his original spot, his face also displaying profound astonishment as he looked towards the heavens. It was someone else, someone who had also mastered the 6 heavenly thunder arts, shadow in the clouds. Looking up, Yunxia's pupils contracted. Above them, a spiritual boat soared through the sky, enveloped in crackling lightning. On the spiritual boat stood an elder and 2 youths. A sharp-faced girl, no older than 19, was examining the blood-bod, high with evident delight. Who would have thought such a desolate place would yield a treasure like the blood-bod? Hi, my chances of breaking through to the nascent soul realm have increased by another 10%, hee. Yunxia indignantly shouted, Sir, is it not too presumptuous to snatch what belongs to others? Even though the other party was clearly formidable, she was by no means someone who would yield or suffer in silence. The sharp-faced girl glanced over, her thin lips curling dismissively. What use does a failed tribulator have for a blood-bod? Hi, even if you had more, breaking through to the nascent soul realm would be difficult in this lifetime. As she spoke, she casually tossed a crimson spiritual pill downwards. This is a spiritual pill that extends life by 10 years. Take it and live a few more years. That's what's important. Yunxia was furious. She unleashed a palm strike from afar, swatting the spiritual pill away. Who needs your spiritual pill? Give me back my blood-bod, hi. Let alone a spiritual pill that extended life, which was far less valuable than the blood-bod, hi. Even if it were more valuable, openly snatching it and then justifying it was egregious. Even Fang Chen frowned slightly. This girl was quite overbearing, using her minor divine abilities to steal treasures from others, and then tossing a spiritual pill as if bestowing charity. The girl scoffed and deigned to ignore her. The young man beside her, around 20 years old, stroked his chin. His gaze brazenly roamed over Yunxia, lingering particularly on her full bosom. Which tribe of the demon race do you belong to? Such a beautiful demoness is a rare sight. I am Lu Liang from the Myriad Tribulation Sacred Hall. I wish to befriend you, immortal fairy. Myriad Tribulation Sacred Hall. Yunxia's expression changed drastically, her previous anger vanishing. The Myriad Tribulation Sacred Hall, one of the divine sects from beyond the domain, was a colossal entity, a supreme force far beyond the demon race's ability to contend with. All of you, sit properly. When traveling, stir up as little trouble as possible. The elder in the Taoist robe standing at the front of the spiritual boat said indifferently. Lu Liang and the girl immediately shrank back and obediently sat down, not daring to even breathe heavily. The elder in the Taoist robe glanced down at them. He had white hair and a youthful face, and a terrifying aura swirled around him, no less potent than that of a demon emperor. His gaze swept over Yunxia, and it seemed he detected the aura of a demon emperor within her. A hint of apprehension appeared in his eyes. He clasped his hands and said, My disciples are young and ignorant, and have offended you. The blood-bod is of great use to my disciple in breaking through to the nascent soul realm. I implore you to be generous. I shall present this to you as an exchange. He flicked his horsetail whisk, and a single strand detached, drifting and floating down into Yunxia's hand. Yunxia looked closely, her eyes filled with confusion. Though she didn't know what it was, it radiated a stunning spiritual glow, clearly not an ordinary item. This is tranquil heart lotus silk. If you keep it close, it will weaken the malevolent Kai within you, allowing you to regain hope of breaking through to the nascent soul realm. Upon hearing this, Yunxia's pretty eyes flickered, and a look of surprise and joy appeared on her face. She quickly cupped her hands and said, Thank you, Senior. The so-called malevolent Kai was the accumulation of impurities within her body from her previous failed attempt to break through to the nascent soul realm. Its presence obstructed her from sensing the nascent soul realm, preventing her from breaking through for a long time. This was also the reason the girl had stated she could no longer break through to the nascent soul realm. Edit. Morgard. Just when you thought Fang Chen's RNG couldn't get any worse, he burns a random teleport scroll, rolls a natural one, and drops directly into the aggro radius of an entire demon army. But instead of panic rolling, this absolute madman equips his priestess's secret lover title and gaslights a golden core boss into giving him free SSR upgrade materials. And then there is consort Yunxia. She really just stood there, listened to the guy she is hunting deliver a philosophical TD talk on world peace, and got so struck she handed over her legendary origin fox fur. Only to find his "it is not you, it is me" breakup note casually carved in the snow a mile away. The emotional damage is critical. And when she finally catches him, he pops his brand, new AoE silence field, nerfs her stats to absolute 0, and proceeds to loot her inventory again. She is a peak tier mini, boss getting spawn, camped and farmed for drops by a low-level smurf. Even the Demon Emperor had to step in like a server mod just to stop her from deleting her account. Fang Chen isn't just cultivating Kai, he is cultivating pure, unadulterated disrespect. Thumb up, thumb down.